Sarah Maddox and I talked about it in the pregame. I think it's a big help that Altavista's been on this floor once before already in terms of they've seen it. Same thing happened last year. The result didn't work out in the semifinal. You played baseball in your day. When you played on one field and you came back and played on it the second time, more comfortable, I'm assuming, than if you just walked out there kind of cold turkey.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's even more in basketball just because of the surroundings. It's not just the fact that there's no wall behind the basket. It's everything. It's all the people moving around. It's a different routine. It's all sorts of different things that factor in there. And I think we talked about how comfortable the Altavista Lady Colonels are because they've been here. They were here last week, twice last year. The ones that were on the volleyball team were here earlier this year for that. So you're used to the surroundings. You know where to go when you check in. You know where your locker room's going to be. You don't have to ask a lot of questions. When do we do this? Where do we go for that? Everybody's comfortable. And you look at the Altavista coaching staff over there on the opposite side from us on the floor, Bob. They're all just kicked back, relaxed, having a good time. Deborah Spencer's been here once or twice. She knows what this is all about. Her second Final Four of the year.
Right, and
most coaches can't say that.
It's almost like, it's the case where you can say hello to the security guards and everything because you've seen them before.
Yeah,
it's not. It's
they may not know your name, but
right.
They know your face, that kind of thing.
It's where everybody knows your name. It's familiar surroundings, and I think if you're the Altavista girls, obviously one thing that we've seen on this floor, Kyle, and you've seen some games on this floor throughout my years. I've seen a ton of games on this floor. The one thing you can't do is get in an early hole because it's really tough to crawl out of something like that here.
You're right. It hurts when you get in an early hole, particularly here because it is a little bit harder to shoot, like we've talked about. And that's not to say that you won't see a great shooting performance, that kind of thing. I mean, Altavista's free throw numbers speak to the fact that they shot the jump shot pretty well, or at least the set shot anyway from the free throw line. So maybe that shooting crack is a little bit overrated, but certainly you don't want to get down, especially when your season's on the line because, there is a little bit of nerves, and when you're trying to make a comeback effort, it can be that much tougher.
Yeah, and I think to a degree you cannot be reliant on the three ball once you get to this point because you look at the numbers from the other night. Altavista was 2 out of 17. Colonial Beach was 2 out of 19.
Yeah.
Just in that last game, even on the guys' side, Altavista was 1 of 9. 0 of 2 with J.I. Burden. But you got to learn how to pound it in, and you really got to hit from free throw.
Yeah, you got to take advantage from the free throw stripe, definitely. And you said it. I mean, the more you can get it closer to the basket, the more paint touches you can get, the more opportunities you can get from close, the better your chances are going to be. And we both mentioned it. It's not to say that you can't shoot well here, but typically high school players are not used to the open background behind the basket, so they don't shoot as well. And maybe Altavista, because they've been here so much, maybe they are starting to get used to it. But you don't have the benefit of a shoot-around or a practice here or anything like that because there's games going on all week.
Right. And, pretty much your shots are the shots you get up in warm-up. That's kind of the way it is. Sarah Maddox and I were talking, and with the way the VHSL does things now with these super sites in terms of the state quarterfinals and everything, everybody gets to get on a quote-unquote big floor.
Yeah.
But, go down to Wise. Go down to UVA Wise right now and go to VCU, and I guarantee you they're not identical.
You're right.
So I think advantage Altavista. But you can't just take that as a crutch either to where you say, we played on this floor before. We're okay. We're set.
You still got to take care of business. You can't just roll the balls out, throw your gear onto the court, and say, all right, advance us to the state title game. You still got to take care of business. And you got to play well. And I think a big key for the Colonels also, Bob, is going to be staying out of foul trouble. I mean, we saw that in the East Rockingham game. That was really something that was a dagger to the Lady Colonels, particularly in their comeback efforts, as they didn't really have all their horses that they could run out there because of the foul problems.
You know about the studs, obviously, from Altavista, Morris, TT, but who is somebody that you think could fly under the radar that you'd really keep an eye on tonight?
I think you got to keep an eye on the guard play for Altavista. People like Ryan Hedgepath, Erica Wilson coming off the bench, probably, we assume anyway, she has lately. But the guard, Casey Cox as well. Those guards, how do they handle the pressure? How do they get the ball into the post and get the ball to people like T.T. Dews and Sydney Morris, who do the bulk of the scoring, Kayla Lee as well? How do the guards play, and how do they play on defense, too?
And I would swing that to watch the post. Kalia Donegan, who's a second-team All-Dogwood, and, I think Chelsea Robinson is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I'm a fan of everybody, obviously, but I really love Hedgepath and Chelsea Robinson because they do a lot of dirty work, gritty work that doesn't pop out at you in terms of, front page news. Ryan Hedgepath dove on the floor and, tied up a jump ball, or Chelsea Robinson had 2 rebounds and, a stick back that went through. That's not front page news, but to Deborah Spencer, that definitely makes headlines.
Well, it's the little things that win you those games. I mean, those diving on the court for those loose balls, getting the hard rebounds, whether it's offensive or defensive rebounds, playing the tough defense. Maybe you don't even get a steal. Maybe you just play tough defense, and that makes the other player have to work that much harder to get the ball up court. Those kind of things. You're right. Hedgepath, Chelsea Robinson, they love doing that stuff. They don't mind taking the charges. And that stuff is important to Deborah Spencer, and it's important to winning ball games as well. And I think you nailed it. People like that, Kalia Donegan, she grabs a ton of rebounds, doesn't always score a whole lot, but she grabs a bunch of rebounds. And this Lady Colonel team in general is a very good rebounding team, and that could loom large here in this game against the Green Wave from Clintwood.
And one thing that really crushed Altavista last year at this point when they played against Covington is, I know you weren't here with me, but I know you listened. It was not a well-played game in terms of taking care of the basketball. And at this point, you have got to treat that basketball, almost like the American flag or a Bible. Just don't throw that thing around and, let it get tattered. I mean, keep it off the ground.
Got to value every possession, that's for sure. And you want to at least, let's at least get a look at the basket every possession. Let's get a shot up. Even if we don't score every possession, nobody's going to do that. But if we at least get a decent look at the bucket every time, then you should be okay. I mean, you're going to have some turnovers. We know that. But it's a question of limiting those turnovers. Can the other team have more turnovers than you? Can you cause more steals? And that could be a big factor today as well. And sometimes even when you do turn the ball over, you got to be able to win without playing your A game. I think we'd all agree with that. And Deborah Spencer would say at this point, I don't care if it looks pretty or not, as long as we advance on to the next round. And that's a big key tonight.
Well, and one thing that stuck out to me too in that guys game that I think the girls would really like to carry over too is defense. I mean, J.I. Burton had a problem getting a lot of points. If you're the Altavista girls and you can either keep the Clintwood possessions long and ineffective or, just to where it's one and done, I think that's another key that can, keep you in a catbird seat.
Absolutely. Getting those one and dones where the other team misses a shot, you get the defensive rebound. It all gets back to rebounding, boxing out, positioning. How good are you at those little things? And I think the Lady Colonels very good at those little things like boxing out, getting the loose balls, running after the rebounds, tracking them down. And we know, Bob, that Altavista is going to throw some full-court press out there as well. So it could be a situation where they don't even let Clintwood get a shot up before they get the basketball back.
Step aside and take another time out here on the pregame show, Subway pregame show, Altavista Clintwood, getting ready to start on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch & Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question, who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Subway pregame show, and one other thing, KH, is you talk about knowing the drill. Well, with the way the VHSL does the little handshake before the game, you know that drill too. I mean, it's not something new. shake the other coach's hand, wait at half court, and then somebody's going to come shake mine.
That's right, and it's the routine. Again, getting used to the routine. They switched the routine up on us back at the station. Nick Bailey punching the buttons down. We didn't even know it was such a seamless transition, and Eleanor did a great job to start the game, on the mound, and then Nick will come in out of the bullpen and be the closer for this one.
All 9 Clintwood players that got in action scored in the state quarterfinal victory. No seniors on this group as well, and like Altavista, Kyle, they also made the states in volleyball.
A lot of similarities there. The youth makes me think of the Altavista guys team,
right,
obviously, but even one step above that, no seniors for this Clintwood team, and that's pretty impressive. Something else that's impressive, Bob, is our list of sponsors here. We wouldn't be here without them. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. Don't forget the YouTube stuff sponsored by them as well. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The E&S Mart, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge. Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista. Herd of Moose. The Shops of Altavista. Kids and ladies clothing. Home decor too. All at a great price. English is your complete home center and authorized Davis paint dealer. And the Rotary Club of Altavista, presenting the Harlem Ambassadors basketball team and show Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School. Streaming audio online at kdcountry.com. Brought to you by Walmart, Mr. Alvis.
Shop and save money. And, the sportsmanship oath being read, let's do a few more shout-outs here. I know Ace Eubank was listening, but soccer practice might have started now, so I'm not sure he's still with us or not. Jacob Gruce, our old friend, texted me to say that he's listening.
Hey-o.
And I know Dean Hubbard and Ty Gafford are not listening because they are here holding down the fort in Richmond. You got any people you want to throw out a hello to?
They might plug in the earpiece there in the smartphone because, you can listen online at kdcountry.com. You don't have to be around Altavista to listen. And we know we get a lot of non-local flavor, particularly with the Cardillero fan club. We can boast listenership in 30 states if we wanted to, Bob. And I don't know if Miss Donegan's here or not, but Kalia reading the sportsmanship pledge made me think of Miss Donegan. They both have the great announcer voice. Why wouldn't you pick Kalia Donegan to read the sportsmanship pledge if you're Altavista? I'm surprised she didn't whip the Colonel crowd into a frenzy there like her mom would before an Altavista game.
I'll tell you, with the way the articulation out of the Altavista sportsmanship readers, they might be taking our spots here in, a few years.
I don't know. I'm speechless there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take much.
Exactly. They can keep talking. You stop.
And they would have something to say. A knock on the door and a handshake. Maybe they'd get the job. But we got the job for tonight. And Lady Colonels have got a tough job, too. Taking on the Green Wave from Clintwood. Reserves for each team being announced right now. Here's another shout-out, Bob. We'll give another shout-out to Oscar Briggs, who said that all our talk about playing at the Siegel Center in the crowd and the court, that's overrated. Court's still 94 feet and the rim's 10 feet.
Yeah,
foul line's 15 feet, etc. I think he went on to list every measurement there. The three-point line is this.
Yeah, he's a stickler.
I stopped reading the text.
He's a stickler for by the book, so we got to give him.
Well, let's make a point, though, actually. Not all the high school courts are 94 feet. A lot of courts in high school are a little bit smaller. I think in high school you just got to it's got to be at least like 84 feet, but it can be up to 94 feet. So it's not exactly the same at every court. Those Pennsylvania County courts are smaller, but the rim, as far as we know anyway, is still 10 feet and foul line 15. Everything else is the same, so not too much of a difference.
Russ Gowen in Buckingham head coach taking a listen to us.
Dig it.
So, and not
we
only
went through Buckingham today.
we did. I always kind of wave just to see if Coach Gowen or my friend Tim Hartless are out there, just doing whatever they do there in Buckingham, holding down the fort. That's what they do.
Yep.
Altavista's starting lineup. Kyle, do you want me to take it or do you want to go with it?
I want you to take it.
I love it when you have that. The pass from Stockton, and I'll be Malone this time. TT Dews, number 11. 5'5" senior guard, Sydney Morris. She'll wear number 15. She's a 5'11" junior forward. Number 23, Ryan Hedgepath, 5'4" senior guard. Kayla Lee, a 5'6" senior guard. And finally, Kalia Donegan, a 5'9" junior center. For the Lady Green Wave of Clintwood, coached by Donnie Frazier. He'll go with 10. Emily Artrip, she's a 5'4" junior guard. Kayla Mullins, a 5'8" freshman guard, averaging 18 points and 7 boards a game. Got to watch out for her. Taylor Fleming is a 5'8" junior forward. Samantha Stevens, number 34, 5'5" sophomore guard, and Caitlin Phillips is a 5'6" junior forward. Donnie Frazier, head coach of Clintwood, of course. Deborah Spencer, the head coach of the Lady Colonels. Colonels and Green Wave ready to take things out here at the Siegel Center. Winner gets the prize of East Rockingham, and you can say, wow, East Rockingham's really good. Well, guess what? I'd rather finish second than third. You got to definitely play East Rockingham, and who knows what happens.
You want to win every game, every time you go out on the hardwood. Lady Colonel's no exception here. And that's right. You get to this stage in the year, anybody can beat anybody, that's for sure. You mentioned number 14, Kayla Mullins, a freshman averaging 18 points. Very impressive. And there's 4 Mullins on this Green Wave team from Clintwood. So maybe Mullins is like Edmonds is at Dan River and that kind of thing. Interesting stuff there.
Road black for Altavista, home white for Clintwood. Colonels will shoot to our left, and they'll win the tip. Basketball in the hands of T.T. Dews, right side. Now Ryan Hedgepath, middle of the floor. Hedgepath, ball above the head, puts it on the floor, one bounce, now over to T.T. Dews sets, fires, three-pointer up, side of the iron, no good. Sydney Morris going to use that sprinter speed and chase it down and give it off to Hedgepath.
Good play right there. Extra possession already on the offensive rebound for the Lady Colonels.
Kalia Donegan with the ball between the circles. Donegan looking for somewhere to go, guarded by Taylor Fleming. Donegan puts it up, no good. Rebound comes down to Morris. Sydney will put it on the floor twice. Layup goes down. Altavista breaks the ice first. 37 seconds in.
Well, there goes Sydney Morris early. An offensive rebound, then a steal. It leads to points. Lady Colonels almost got another steal here.
Stevens finds an open player underneath. Shot is up, no good. Tug of war. Kalia Donegan breaks out of there. Caitlin Phillips couldn't have it fall down. Donegan looking for somewhere to go. Throws it over to Morris between the circles. Sydney, left side to T.T. Dews for three, had it blocked. Block was recorded by Kayla Mullins, and it's off of Altavista, and it's going the other way.
No, it's staying with Altavista. The official overruled it. He saw the block. One official on the far end couldn't. Good call there. Keeps it with the Lady Colonels. They lead just under 1 minute gone here. They're up 2-0.
Pass into Sydney Morris, left side. Morris takes it up. She'll get fouled, and she's got one more coming to her.
Well, sometimes the sensation waits a little while to get going. I think she's going to get an early start in this one. 4-0 lead. She's got all 4 points, threatening to make it 5 points for her and the Lady Colonels from the foul line here after the inbounds play.
Sydney's free throw is up. It's in. 5-0 Altavista. Early lead on Clintwood. Lady Green Wave falling a hole early. They get it up ahead to Phillips. Phillips sends a high arcing pass, and Taylor Fleming not able to save it. And basketball is going to go back to Altavista.
Yeah, full court pressure there from Altavista. Clintwood thought they broke the press, but they got in a little bit of a hurry and made a bad pass down low.
Morris gets it into Hedgepath. Ryan gets it across the timeline. Hedgepath looking for somewhere to go. Wraparound bounce pass to T.T. Dews. Dews catches, gives it back to Hedgepath. Tell you, Clintwood's defense is very, very stingy, Kyle.
Yeah, it's man-to-man, and they're also double-teaming a little bit with it. They got a steal here.
Nice save by Clintwood. They'll knock it into the hands of Samantha Stevens. Stevens off to Artrip. Now Artrip has it taken away by T.T. Dews. Dews comes down the right side. Lost her dribble, takes it up, can't get it to fall. Gets the extra pass to Kayla Lee. That won't go down. T.T. is going to have a second try, and Dews is going to be fouled.
I think T.T. probably thought she was fouled on the first one, but they got a couple offensive rebounds. Kayla Lee got one. Dews got that one, and she's fouled on this trip. And number 11 will head to the free throw line for her first foul shots of the game. 6:20 to play. First one up and good. Makes it a 6-0 lead. And Bob, of course, the first quarter brought to you by Fellers Chevrolet. Search all their new and used inventory online at fellersdirect.com. Fellers, where a short drive will save you money.
TT's second try is up and in. 7-0. Altavista with the early advantage with 6:18 to go.
Full court pressure again.
Wow, right by Morris. Did go Phillips, and the pass is going to go down and in. And a great play right there by number 14, Kayla Mullins.
Turnover here. Sydney Morris carried the basketball, put her palm under it as she was trying to dribble through traffic. And you see the full court pressure from Altavista. Burns them a little bit there, Bob. The full court press is really high risk, high reward. A lot of times you get a steal, but sometimes when the other team breaks the press, they're left with an open layup, and that's what Clintwood had their last time down.
Ton of pressure coming from the Lady Green Wave. Number 2, Ivy Gully. In for her first action. She has the basketball right side. Gully brings it to the wing, now in the corner. Gully had it go off her foot, and the basketball is going to stay to Clintwood with 5:45 to go. Gully will inbound right on the sideline down from us. Press row a little bit longer than it was last Friday, Mr. Haney.
Yeah, they've extended press row and taken out some of those extra seats that they had for the big ESPN VCU Butler game.
Stevens is going to be fouled, I believe. The call is going to go against Altavista. It's going to be against Kayla Lee. It's her first, team's first. Comes with 5:36 to go here in quarter number 1. Altavista maintains a 7-2 advantage as Samantha Stevens will inbound it. Finds it into Kayla Mullins, and Mullins sticks in too.
A great design there on the inbounds play, Bob. Clintwood had a screen, and then they had somebody come screen for the screener. A lot of times that's a tough thing to stop. They get points off of it.
7-4 Altavista, and a foul and 2 shots coming for the Colonels.
Yeah, Hedgepath driving to the basket. She's fouled in the act. You don't see Ryan Hedgepath shoot a whole lot, but when she does, it's usually very effective. And she knew the defender was off balance there. Smart play. Taylor Fleming got her up in the air.
Hedgepath front iron is the first one. I checked with my resident expert on Mullins's, Greg Mullins, former head football coach at William Campbell, and apparently there are a lot of Mullinses in Clintwood. He's not. Okay. He's from Pound, but that is my genealogy of the Mullins.
So we really didn't learn anything new, actually.
Well, we learned that he's not related to any of them.
I like that.
4. Lady Green Wave looking to get it across midcourt. Altavista playing a lot of pressure. Morris sticks up the long slipper, and it's going to go off of Clintwood. Basketball is going to stay to Altavista. Has the Campbell County corner led by Ty Gafford and Dean Hubbard giving applause as 2 other principals, Russ Bergs and William Campbell's, Mr. Stanley, Mr. Ranella, and A.D. Patrick Schuler join them. I wonder if you got to have like a ticket stub. I'm from Campbell County to sit down there. Hedgepath gets over to Lee. Lee over to Donegan. Donegan on the left side. Some East Rockingham fans behind us. Soaking in, getting a scouting report just in case Paul Comer needs any help. Hughes is going to be called for a travel. TT not really sure which foot moved, but the arrow will just give it back to Clintwood.
Well, and again, it's that high pressure defense you talked about from Clintwood, Bob. They're not making it easy on Altavista. They've gotten some steals and caused Altavista to turn it over a few times. So they trail 8-4 right now, but Clintwood looking steady here, particularly on the defensive end. They turned it over here on offense, though.
Stevens' pass is intercepted by Ryan Hedgepath. Ryan all the way to the rack, takes it up again, and again will go back to the stripe. So Hedgepath will have 2 more free throw opportunities here in the first quarter of play. 8-4 Altavista in the Fellers first. 4:34 to go in the frame.
Another smart play by Hedgepath. Saw again the defender out of position. That was Ivy Gully that time picking up the foul. Her first, and the first free throw is up and in for Ryan Hedgepath. Gully is another freshman for Clintwood, so get used to maybe seeing the green wave from time to time at these state championship games in the future. State championship tournaments.
Morris gets the rebound off the Hedgepath miss. No good. 9-4. Altavista has the pass intended for Clintwood's. Gully intercepted by Morris. Now off to Kayla Lee. Lee gives to Hedgepath. Well, I will stick by my earlier comment earlier this afternoon. A free throw in the first counts just as much as a free throw in the fourth. Lee with it over to Morris. And, I mean, you just can't count on, our third and fourth quarter free throw shooting. Hedgepath is going to be pushed. Foul's going to go against Stevens. It's her second.
Yeah, free throw shooting is important anytime. We always talk about it when a team's down. It's important when a team is up. Colonels lead 9-4 right now. Their basketball inbounding on the sideline. 4:08 to play in the first quarter.
It's actually Stevens' first skip pass across to Kayla Lee. Lee drives in. No good on that one. Rebounded by Kayla Mullins. Mullins up the floor in a hurry. Guarded by Sydney Morris. Mullins skips a bounce pass inside. No good on the shot. And they're going to call a foul against Altavista. I think TT is going to be whistled for that infraction. It is on Dews.
Yeah,
it's her first.
Yep, her first. Team's second. 3:56 to play. Colonels lead 9-4. Mullins will inbound. Remember, Clintwood got 2 points off one of these inbounds plays down here, Bob. So Altavista's got to diagnose that and defense that. Erica Wilson checking in now for Kayla Lee, first substitute for the Colonel.
That is one difference from, your other games is there's a longer trip to the scores table to check in for a lot of these players. Mullins looking for somewhere to go. 5 seconds is the call.
Yeah, 5 second right there. Good defense from Altavista. I almost thought you could have called Mullins for the travel because even though you're out of bounds inbounding it, you still have to keep a pivot foot down. It's just like if you picked up your dribble.
Morris with the catch and the head of steam in the front court. Sydney all the way to the rack. Lays it up. No good. Rebounded by Kalia Donegan. Can't get it to fall. Hedge pass with it. Gets it off to T.T. Dews. Dews drives in. The runner's up. Not going to fall down. Foul. And if it's against Dews, it's her second.
Yeah, offensive foul on number 11, T.T. Dews. It is her second, third as a team, and Deborah Spencer shakes her head and says, yeah, you fouled her.
And that's 2. She held up 2.
Yep. T.T.'s going to stay in there, though. 3:43 to play here in the first quarter. Colonel's up 9-4.
Ivy Gully with the basketball. Gully gets in the front court. And Sydney Morris making her first press row appearance of the day. Luckily, that's on your side.
Yeah, closer to me than it was you, but I think Sydney probably, if she needed to, could jump up on the press table and tightrope things up here.
I've seen that happen before. That is very possible. Three-pointer missed, rebounded by Erica Wilson. Wilson loses a handle and will return it back to Ryan Hedgepath. Ryan in the front court. Now over to Erica Wilson. Down to Sydney Morris. Morris puts it on the floor and loses it. Picked up by Clintwood. Gully with it. Gully leads the pass, and the shot is going to go up from Phillips, and Phillips is going to go to the free throw line.
Foul's going to be on Erica Wilson. Did what she had to do. Stop the transition. Don't let the ball get to the basket. But Caitlin Phillips will head to the free throw line. And 2 substitutes ready to check in for the Lady Colonels now.
Looks like Lee and Robinson. Phillips' first free throw goes down. 9-5. Altavista by 4, 3:18 to go here in the Fellers' first quarter.
Chelsea Robinson, T.T. Dews, Kayla Lee, Sydney Morris, and Erica Wilson on the court right now for the Lady Colonels. Donegan and Hedgepath check out for a little breather.
Second shot by Phillips goes down. 9-6 is our score. Sydney Morris right in front of Deborah Spencer. Bad place to be because Coach Spencer's got to be behind that sideline. Now Kayla Lee with it over to Erica Wilson. Clintwood trying to use the extra defender with the sideline. Morris catches it at the free throw line. Back it out to Dews. Now over to Chelsea Robinson. Robinson looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to Erica Wilson. Wilson cut off now back at the three-point line. Now inside to Morris. Morris drives the baseline. They're going to say Sydney stepped on it.
A little bit of contact down there. Not enough to warrant a whistle, though. 9-6. Altavista leading by 3. Boy, Lady Colonels haven't scored in a few minutes here, Bob Alvis, and I think it's the great defense from Clintwood. They're really turning up the pressure on the Colonels.
Clintwood with it in the backcourt right now. Kayla Lee providing havoc, and a timeout from Clintwood as the Lady Green Wave was having problems getting it across midcourt. 2:42 to go here in the opening quarter. It's a full 1-minute timeout. We'll take it as well on 105.5 KD Country.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes in Virginia are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney back with you from Richmond, Virginia. Virginia Commonwealth University hosting the state tournament. Has for about a decade now. Shot up by Clintwood, no good, and they're going to say it's off of the Lady Green Wave. And Ty Gafford getting his hands on the basketball for the first time today. He was a shooter.
He was a shooter back in his day. Played at Appomattox High School. Very good player and a very good coach back in his day. And now he's the principal for the Altavista High School.
Still coaching. Coaching little Marcus Gafford's rec league team.
Oh, okay.
So now really teaching the basics and the fundamentals.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basketball belongs to Altavista. TT Dews, Kayla Lee, Erica Wilson, Chelsea Robinson, Kalia Donegan on the floor.
Man-to-man defense from the green wave of Clintwood. And I mentioned it's been very stingy. Lady Colonels have not scored in a little while.
Chelsea Robinson over to Erica Wilson. We'll see how many people stick around for the next game. It does have some Altavista interest. Wilson loses it. Kayla Mullins comes away with it. Mullins with the intercept. Mullins gets it and one. Kayla Mullins looking to tie this one up.
Yeah, she's just a freshman, but I can see why she averages 18 points a game, Bob. Very quick. And she's 5'8", which is like being 6'1 or 6'2 in guys, basically, more or less. Very quick to the basket there, and she's fouled. Free throw here would make it a tie ball game, 9-9.
2:03 to go in this Fellers first quarter. Mullins does just that, knocks it at 9. Clintwood fell down 7-0, Kyle. And they've rallied to tie.
Yeah,
Wilson with the basketball.
9-2 run since then if you're not keeping score. Wilson hits the deck.
TT Dews with it. Dews in the front court. Dews gets it to Erica Wilson. Wilson, ball above the head. Left-hand dribble. Wilson looking for somewhere to go. Gets it over to Lee, and the ball is knocked out of bounds, and it's going to stay to Altavista.
Again, more good defense from Clintwood. Even when they don't get a steal, they're getting those flippers on it. They're tapping the ball out of bounds. They're making it tough on Altavista, that's for sure. Ryan Hedgepath back in the game for Erica Wilson. Here comes Sydney Morris back in the game for somebody. 1:46 to play. We're tied 9-9 from VCU.
Sydney Morris, Ryan Hedgepath, Kayla Lee, TT Dews, and Kalia Donegan. So the starting five back on the floor for Altavista. Hedgepath finds it over to Kayla Lee. Right side, Lee drives in, takes a shot up. No good. And a foul is going to send Kayla Lee to the stripe.
Altavista's been pretty good from the free throw line so far, so probably not a bad place for them to be. They're pretty good from the free throw stripe in general. 9-9 ball game, 1:40 to play in the Fellers first quarter. First one's up and down, converted by number 24, Kayla Lee.
Tell you what, way both these teams are going, they're going to both be in the bonus at the end of quarter one.
Yeah, good point. 6 fouls for Clintwood, 5 fouls for Altavista. Both free throws converted by Ms. Lee. Makes it 11-9 Altavista lead.
Clintwood in the front court. Mullins with it. Mullins deflects it, gets it back. No good. Rebounded by Kayla Lee. Now off to Kalia Donegan. Donegan up ahead to Morris. Sydney's got TT to her left. Morris all the way to the rack. Takes it up. No good. Kalia Donegan with the tug of war. And jump ball. The arrow is going to give it back to Clintwood. But Deborah Spencer has got to like the hustle of her team on that one.
Absolutely. Donegan never afraid to mix it up and get in there for those tie-ups and those jump balls. She almost got the basketball back to Altavista there.
Mullins over to Gully. And TT Dews knocks it and deflects it.
Chelsea Robinson going to check back in the basketball game, Bob. 11-9, Altavista leading by 2. 1:18 to play in the first quarter.
Kayla Mullins with it. Inbounds it. Now high pass up for R-Trip. R-Trip drives. Kick back. Basketball is loose. Picked up by Kayla Lee. And Lee is going to be fouled. They're going to call the foul against Stevens. And that will be Stevens' second. 7th on the Clintwood Green Wave. Altavista's in the bonus the rest of the way. Kayla Lee will start things with 1-1.
And again, that could be good news for the Lady Colonels. They're usually pretty good from the free throw stripe. Hope that's not a jinx, but Bob, you can knock on wood if you believe in that kind of stuff. And first one's up and good. So didn't jinx her on the first one anyway. Kayla Lee's made 3 in a row now if you go back to that last trip she was there on the foul line.
12-9. Second one up by Lee. Goes down as well, 13-9. So Altavista in front by 4. With just under a minute to play here in the Fellers first quarter.
Still haven't scored from the field in a while.
Stevens over to Phillips. Phillips the extra pass to Kayla Mullins. Mullins uses a window and gets it to go down 13-11. And right away, Clintwood's picking up that full court.
Yeah, there's Mullins again. Nice soft touch underneath. And here comes the full court pressure. Altavista's broken the timeline, but they're not out of trouble yet.
They're going to call Dews for a travel. And Dews and Hedgepath were right next to each other, which is going to make it difficult anyway, just because of the positioning of the players.
Yeah, it was sort of a mutual possession, but with two people from the same team.
Can't get a jump ball for that.
No, you can't get a jump ball for that. I thought Dews kind of handed it off to Ryan, but maybe she didn't hand it off before she took the extra step. Turnover, basketball back to the Lady Wave.
Mullins taking some contact, no doubt, from Donegan. Gully now with it. Gully tries to skip it over. Hedgepath, I think, deflected it into the hands of Kalia Donegan. Ball is loose on the floor. Kayla Lee keeps it. And Lee not with numbers right now. Trying to get control of the dribble. Lee takes a shot up and gets it to go down.
Kayla Lee just had to muscle her way through traffic. She had to get the steal back. Then she had to go through a couple Green Wave defenders. Knocks down the 10-foot jumper.
Down to 7 seconds. Phillips loses it over to Donegan. Now to Kayla Lee. Lee hoists one. Had some time left.
Yeah, she tried a buzzer beater
but not
from
now.
half court. Originally the clock said .9 left, and now let's see. The officials are going to talk it over at the table. Was there time left on the clock when the ball went out of bounds or not, Bob?
I think so.
Shot was no good from Kayla Lee. It was a half-court shot, and she put it up kind of early, but she probably didn't have a chance to check the scoreboard before she put it up. And, yeah, 0.9 seconds showing. 15-11 Altavista leads, but the Green Wave are going to have one last possession in the first quarter.
And really all they're going to be able to do is get it in.
Now, they can catch and shoot. There's time enough for that.
But
it's
just
going to
the way
be a
they're
long
set
shot.
up, they're not looking to do that.
You're right.
And that'll do it for quarter one. So 8 minutes in the books from VCU. Altavista comes away with a 15-11 lead after one quarter. We're back after with the second quarter after this 1 minute timeout on KD Country.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
8 minutes of play in the books. The Altavista Colonels lead 15-11 over the Lady Green Wave of Clintwood. Altavista, like I mentioned, the boys squad will have some interest in this next matchup with Perry McClure and West Point, as whoever wins that one will face Altavista tomorrow for the state championship. Dews comes left side, tried to squirt the pass, a little low for Donegan, and the ball deflects, and I think it's going to stay to Altavista.
Yeah, one official saying it's going Altavista. Easy for me to say. And again, you get the officials conferring a lot because they're not used to working with each other, so sometimes they take the extra time to get it right, which they should do. Altavista up 15-11.
Hedgepath put her head down and went over a top of a Clintwood player. However, they're going to say Hedgepath stepped out of bounds, and the basketball is going to belong to Clintwood that way.
And there was enough contact there. You probably could have whistled either player with a foul, Bob.
I'll tell you what, we talk about Region D, the Lunch Pail District, where, a lot of kids work hard. I think Deborah Spencer's squad could do pretty well in Region D because they are some of the hardest working bunch I've seen as Gully loses that pass out of bounds.
No, you're absolutely right. And, this Altavista girls squad, a lot like the guys squad, they got a coach that preaches defense, defense, defense. And you can tell that the Lady Colonels are defensive-minded if you watch them all this year.
Second state Final Four this year for Deborah Spencer. Not a lot can say that. Kalia Donegan with the basketball. Now off to TT Dews. Dews, middle of the floor. Gives it over to Ryan Hedgepath. Hedgepath sticks it to Sydney Morris. Morris drives. Morris spins. Morris looking for somewhere to go. Gully has it. Gully gives it off. Now in the hands of Gully. Actually got it back. And she looked to make a cross-court pass, but she moved her feet before. So the basketball is going to be turned over, and Altavista will get it back with 7:04 to go in the Fellers second quarter.
Yeah, Lady Colonels will get it inbounded. Taking a while here. Don't know what the slowdown is, but you are going to have the full court pressure from the Lady Green Wave. That'll slow things down a little bit. Now they back off some.
Hedge path, looking for somewhere to go with it. Now hedge path, 5-second call.
Couldn't advance the ball and couldn't break the 6-foot cushion there that you have to break. It's a 5-second call. You know, normally that 5-second call comes when somebody's trying to inbound it, Bob, and they can't get it in, or they've picked up their dribble. Ryan had her dribble the whole time. Just couldn't really go anywhere with it, and it was a quick 5 seconds, that's for sure.
She'll come out. Erica Wilson will come in. Phillips takes that up, has it blocked, and Phillips is going to foul T.T. Dews. Second one, I think, on Phillips, and it definitely will send Altavista back to the stripe, as that is the 8th team foul.
And the free throws could end up being the difference, Bob. We saw Kayla Lee very good from the free throw line, 4 for 4. Colonels are 9 of 11 as a team, so they've been to the free throw line 11 times already in the first quarter. First trip here in the second quarter. Dews toes the line for the 1-on-1, makes the first. You know, on the contrary for Clintwood, they've only been to the free throw line 3 times. So if the Lady Colonels can get to that charity stripe more, it could be a big deal as this game goes on. And you said it. Doesn't matter if you make the free throws in the second quarter or the fourth quarter, as long as you make them.
As long as they go down. TT's second one is going to spin around and fall out. Rebounded by Kayla Mullins. Mullins gives it up to Gully. Gully looking for somewhere to get some help. Finds it in Stevens. Stevens takes it up. Leaner's not going to fall down. Rebound is going to go up and not going to go down, but it's going to send Taylor Fleming to the stripe.
So I said Clintwood only had 3 trips to the charity stripe. They're going to have 2 more here. She was in the act of shooting. And the foul is on number 24, Kayla Lee, and that is her 3rd personal foul. So that's a bit of bad news for the Lady Colonels. I mentioned in the pregame, Bob Alvis now says it's just 2. I think he's absolutely correct. So I'll abstain from making the comment that I was going to make about the Lady Colonels need to stay out of foul trouble. They still need to stay out of foul trouble. But
TT and Kayla have 2. And at this point in the first half, I would still not say it's out of the woods.
Yeah, certainly.
You don't want to pick up a 3rd because that's going to sit you for about the next 6.5. Wilson with the basketball. 16-12. Wilson puts it on the floor with her left. Now brings it back to the middle. Finds Kalia Donegan on the right side. Donegan gets it to Sydney Morris in the high post. Morris can't handle. Picked off by Stevens. Now up to Gully. Gully heads upstream. Bounce pass over to Kayla Mullins. Mullins can't get it to fall down. Ball is loose on the floor. Somehow it squirts out. Wilson couldn't get it. And it's going to stay to Clintwood. And Deborah Spencer would like a timeout. We will observe the stoppage with her. It's a 30-second break. 6:07 to go in quarter 2. Altavista 16. Clintwood 12 on 105.5 KD Country.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista leads by 4, 16-12, with 6:07 to go here in the second quarter before the Subway halftime show, where Mike Cardellaro is scheduled to join us. Guys going to the state title. Girls would like to head that way too. Kalia Donegan with the block. And Altavista picks it up. Wilson over to TT. Dews to Sydney Morris. Morris had the ball. Roll off her back. Kayla Mullins picks it up. Gets it off to Stevens. Stevens looking for somewhere to go. She'll head straight down the middle. And it's going to be fouled. And that will send Samantha Stevens, a sophomore, to the stripe. 1-1 has every foul from here on out in this first half will send somebody to the line.
Yeah, unless it's one of those player control type of fouls, a charge, that kind of thing. But yes, Green Wave back to the free throw line here. Chance to cut into this 4-point Altavista lead. First one up and in. Can't believe they didn't say that number 34, Stevens, wasn't in the act of shooting. But she makes the first anyway, so she'll get the back end now.
17 fouls on Altavista, Kyle. 2 of them by 3 players each.
Very interesting when you put it that way.
Dews, Wilson, and Lee all have 2. 16-14. Kalia Donegan has that poked out of her hands, and Taylor Fleming is going to be the culprit on that one. I'll tell you, if you're Coach Donnie Frazier or Deborah Spencer, I think you see how this game is being called, and maybe you can make adjustments once you get into the break with the clipboard.
Yeah, I think you can make some adjustments. I mean, really, there's a lot of fouls that they haven't called, and we've still got a pretty large foul total. 16 by both teams, 9 for Clintwood, 7 for the Lady Colonels. Donegan, first free throw up, cash that one as she gets the shooter's bounce, rattles in.
Kalia Donegan, a second-team All-Dogwood District player. And Altavista leads 17-14 here in the Fellers second quarter.
Both free throws go in, and yeah, Bob, brand new 2013 Chevy Silverado is available now. Fellers, where a short drive will save you money.
18-14, Altavista will look to get past Clintwood so they can have a state title trip. Still a lot of time to go in this one. Pass down low to R-Trip. R-Trip takes it up, no good. T.T. Dews comes away with it. Dews over to Erica Wilson. Now to T.T. Dews, left side. Middle of the floor, Chelsea Robinson. Right side it goes to Kalia Donegan. Donegan over to T.T., middle of the floor. Sydney Morris looking to set a screen. Instead, it'll just roll off. Morris is guarded by Kayla Mullins, so obviously the word has gotten back to Southwest Virginia about Sydney Morris.
Yeah, they've put Mullins, their best defender, on Sydney Morris, and rightfully so. You know, Sid, the kid, scored the first 5 points of our ball game. Bob has not scored since. Got the basketball in her hands now, though, and I have a feeling she's going to bust loose soon.
Morris goes all the way to the rack, takes it up.
Wow.
Offensive. Fouls against Sydney.
Yeah, tough call there. You know, Sydney went up for the shots. She certainly thinks she got fouled. The other team thinks that she did a charge, and the referee agrees with Clintwood. 18-14, Altavista up 4:48 to play here in the Fellers second quarter. Subway halftime show on the way. Don't change the radio dial.
No. Why would you ever do that?
I don't
Sydney's
know.
first 8th team foul on Altavista. As it's in the hands of Gully. Now off to Stevens. Stevens swings it left side. Three-pointers up by Clintwood. Rattles in, rattles out. Rebounded by Kayla Mullins. Mullins goes for the over-the-shoulder, looking for the contact. Picked up by T.T. Dews. Dews with the basketball. Now over to Erica Wilson, who will find Chelsea Robinson in the middle of the floor. Kalia Donegan with the basketball. Clock reads 4:16 to go here before intermission. Donegan splits the defense. Pull-up jumper is no good. And a blocking foul is going to be called.
And this time the call does go Altavista's way. Last one was Sydney Morris didn't. Same type of play, really. A player driving in, puts up the shot. There's contact there. Just a question of which side it's on. And this time it's on Clintwood. And Kalia Donegan will head back to the free throw stripe for 2 more. Chance to stretch the lead out a little.
Stevens' third foul. And Donegan sinks the first. Altavista moves in front by 5, 19-14.
Again, Lady Colonels good from the free throw stripe in the first period, 9 of 11. They're right at 50% here in the second period. That one doesn't go in, and they are exactly. They're 3 for 6 in the second period.
Jump ball, going to give the arrow to Clintwood. According to my notes, Kyle, Altavista's got 11 points so far from the free throw line.
Yeah, and they haven't scored much from the field since that first quarter, I don't think. Early part of that first quarter.
Sydney Morris got 4 right out of the chute.
Yeah.
And a whistle is going to stop play. And I think it's going to be against Clintwood. Really not the most beneficial foul. Oh, no, it's on Altavista. It's on Kalia Donegan.
Wow. T.T. Dews and Kalia Donegan were smiling about it. They didn't think it was on. Now, yeah, and everybody went down to the other end of the court. The left side of the court is where Altavista is scoring on. Official's going to confer with the official at the table, and there is an official at the table. They will say it's on Altavista. 1-1.
And
Deborah Spencer's trying to figure out what happened, as are we.
Yeah, I think it's a situation where Coach Spencer and crew were almost like the last ones in on the joke.
Well, yeah,
se.
About 8 of the 10 players on the court and 2 of the officials on the court ran down to the other end. Everybody was sure it was on Clintwood until the one official that called the foul said, no, it's on Altavista. And I don't even know who got credited with the foul.
Kalia Donegan.
Okay.
Phillips
Good for
hits
you.
the
You were
first.
paying attention.
19-15. Second one's up. Going to go down as well, 19-16.
Rattling in, and here comes the full court man-to-man pressure again.
Long baseball pass to Sydney Morris. Sid the kid catches. Morris lays it up. 21-16.
You knew Morris was going to score again eventually. Big time to do it right there. Stretches the lead out in her first points in a while.
Three-pointer hoisted up. No good off the side of the iron. Rebound taken down by Kalia Donegan. Donegan breaks the dribble. Now off to Erica Wilson.
Kalia Donegan playing a very good game right now. A lot of rebounds. Not afraid to dribble either. Nice pass inside to Chelsea, but it got tipped away.
Chelsea did her best, though, to save it. Now picked up by Kayla Mullins. Mullins loses it for a minute, picks it up. Robinson again. Tell you, Clintwood just does break the timeline. That was getting dangerously close to 10. Has the basketball in the hands of Samantha Stanley, and I'm not an expert on the Clintwood scouting report, but Stanley, it seems like, likes to hoist that three. Timeout by the Green Wave. We'll take it as well. 30 seconds. Timeout with 3:17 to go in the first half. 21-16, Altavista.
Earn extra cash and declutter your home by consigning with the shops of Altavista. Call 369-5437 for more information on what consignment items are being accepted. The shops of Altavista carry a wide variety of kids and ladies apparel, as well as home decor and furniture. Their deals are so awesome, they've nearly been shopped out. Call the shops of Altavista today, 369-5437. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 to 3 p.m., Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista taking a 21-16 lead with 3:17 left in the first half of play. And a lot of free throws have gone up, Kyle. And, you know, we talk about it. It's always a key to the game. It might really be a big key at the end of this one.
Yeah, seriously. A lot of times you say who has the ball last. It might be who's shooting free throws last in this one.
Nice bounce pass in from Clintwood. Alexis Mullins will stick in the bunny. And it's a 21-18 Altavista lead. Colonel's back in a hurry the other way. Morris comes down. They're going to call that a blocking foul.
Again, Clintwood thought they had position, thought maybe Sydney should have got called with the charge. Referees thought otherwise on this occasion. Sydney will shoot 2 more free throws. It's 10 team fouls on Clintwood, and it's 3 on Caitlin Phillips, a starter for them.
It's the third foul against Stevens. I thought she had 3.
Just goes to show you can't trust yourself, Bob, especially in these big state semifinal games.
Sydney's going to have 2. Winner of this one is going to get East Rock tomorrow afternoon.
Ball got
at 2
wedged
o'clock.
between the rim and the backboard there while we were talking. And, that game is at 3:45. The guys' state championship at 2 o'clock. I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. First one up and good for Sydney Morris while Bob confers with the schedule here. Man, Bob is right. Girls are at 2. Guys are at 3:45.
I'm not even going to say anything.
Hopefully we have a doubleheader so it doesn't matter. Somebody will be on it too. Second free throw up and good. You don't need to say anything. You were right. The Division I Girls State Championship is at 2 tomorrow. Altavista guys team will play at 3:45. Hopefully the Lady Colonels can hang on in this one. They'll be playing that 2 o'clock game that we've been talking about.
Couple of Division II semis in the morning before the state championships get underway. And TT is going to be called for a foul, number 3. And getting a long look from the one official.
You got to really get up early if you're going to get in the gym for those early games tomorrow. Foul on TT Dews. 2 shots here because Altavista has committed 10 fouls. 23-18. Lady Colonels lead.
Free throw line wasn't utilized that much in the first game of the day. It's really getting its airtime in this one.
Yeah, we should have got somebody to sponsor the free throw line.
Tell you, that might be tell you, if you're listening, if you remember the Covington Altavista game last year, I think there were a lot of free throws in that one.
Yeah.
Haney has a good idea, folks. 23-19.
It's a great idea.
Altavista, 434-369-1055. Could get you some sponsorship details on a trip to the free throw line. Erica Wilson with the basketball, and Wilson's going to be fouled. And, honestly, this is momentum killing for both teams. Nobody can get in a good rhythm.
Right, hard to get in the flow, hard to get in a rhythm. If you're a shooter like TT Dews is, some people like that, jump shooters need to get in a rhythm particularly. You'd think, hey, you don't have to be in that much of a rhythm to put a layup in, but it probably affects that too. There's just no flow to the game, slows things down. Erica Wilson going to shoot a pair from the free throw stripe. This one off back iron and no good.
Both teams in the double bonus. And remember how we had been touting that we were on schedule all day long? Well, that might be changing. The next game is supposed to start at 5 o'clock. And I hope the first half is done by then.
And just to confirm after that craziness, the guys' game is at 3:45 tomorrow. Altavista Colonels. And the Lady Colonels, if they were to win today, would play at 2 o'clock. They still got plenty of business to take care of. They lead by 4. 2:35 to go in the Feller's second quarter.
East Rock will be there, too. Wilson misses. Sidney Morris with the rebound, and Morris sticks it in.
And that's what's great about getting to the foul line. Even if you don't convert them, players like Sidney Morris can come in and scoop up the offensive board and get 2 points that way.
Gully gives it to Artrip. Artrip guarded by Wilson. Artrip looking for somewhere to go. Now off to Kayla Mullins. Mullins will put it on the floor. Back over to Gully. Now back to Mullins. Kayla Mullins for 3. Rims out. I'll tell you, that ball spun around and really teased the Clintwood delegation, rebounded by Morris.
Yeah, about half that ball was below the cylinder on the equator right there, but it just rimmed out.
Hedge path off to Chelsea Robinson. TT Dews, you would have to think, done for the first half with 3 fouls. Morris going to be called for travel.
Yeah, Morris taking an extra step there, put up the jump shot after the fact. Wouldn't go in. Lady Colonels lead 25-19. Wouldn't have mattered if it did go in. Traveling violation came first.
Gully with the basketball. Now off to Artrip. Artrip to Savannah Mullins. Taken away by Erica Wilson. Wilson in trouble. Gets it off to Morris. Sidney looking to get it in the front court. Does with the dribble. Morris having a problem getting it. Now over to Erica Wilson. Now over to hedge pass. I think Erica Wilson was Johnny on the spot because Sidney was starting to lose control of that dribble a little bit, and Erica Wilson was there. Kalia Donegan now with the basketball. And a foul again.
Yep.
I tell you, I wish I was getting paid for every time I said foul.
Well, maybe, yeah, the Feller's foul maybe. It's the Feller's second quarter. Chelsea Robinson going to head to the free throw line, shoot 2.
First foul against Savannah Mullins.
And here's an interesting stat, Bob. Everybody that's been in the game for Altavista has shot at least 1 free throw. That's how many fouls we've had. First one for Chelsea Robinson this trip, no good. Second one on the way for number 12 for the Lady Colonels.
Robinson, second try at it. That's going to be short. Just did graze the iron.
One referee said it was didn't hit the iron. It was an air ball, so that makes it a dead ball.
Did they say that or the ball went out of bounds?
Well, I don't see how this ref over here would have seen it go out of bounds. Perhaps a lane violation. Either way, basketball going back to the Lady Wave of Clintwood.
Just going off Chelsea's hands, I could tell that was going to be a little shy. Gully will get it back. Now over to Savannah Mullins, back to Gully. Inside, Artrip loses it, picked up by Hedgepath. Ryan has made a few trips to the free throw line. Let's see if she can make a few more. Hedgepath loses the basketball. Ball still loose. And again, you know what?
A foul. You think they're going to get Ryan Hedgepath. She lost the basketball, tried to get it back. Wasn't a ton of contact there, but enough to call the foul. 25-19, Altavista leads. And it's number 2, Ivy Gully, with a chance to cut into the deficit some.
Hedgepath first.
Clintwood, yep.
And the free throw is up and in from Gully. 25-20. Altavista.
5-point lead for Altavista. 56 seconds left here in the second quarter. Gully got her own rebound on the missed free throw.
Tell you what, it's been a long time since we have had a field goal go down.
No kidding.
Both ways.
Yep.
Savannah Mullins with it. Mullins gives it back out to Gully. Under a minute, 45 seconds to go. Artrip sets her feet, fires it, and it's going to bounce down.
Maybe it jinxed the Lady Colonels because that's a 3-point field goal from Clintwood. It's a 2-point Altavista lead now.
Colonels still lead by a bucket. Morris looking to up that to 4. Cannot. Rebounded by 0-0 Alexis Mullins and gives it off. Now Savannah Mullins with it. Now over to Gully. Kayla Mullins for 3. Yes. And Clintwood moves in front by 1.
So Clintwood lead, their first lead of the ball game. That brings their good-sized crowd to its feet.
Altavista gets it underneath, and a traveling violation is going to be the call. I think the Colonels need intermission. 9.8 to go.
Yeah, 9.8 seconds. Coach Spencer's not going to use a timeout, but you're right. Halftime will be beneficial to the Colonels right now. They trail by 1.
Gully gives it off to R-Trip, and R-Trip loses it. Blessing for Altavista that they're going to get another shot at it with 6.1 seconds to go as the official almost takes a tumble. Coach Donnie Frazier catches him, and I tell you, it's almost Follies on ice here.
Yeah, Lady Colonel's got a good chance to score here with 6 seconds and a half.
Erica Wilson had it knocked away, and it's going to stay to Altavista. Good thing is it moves Altavista in the front court.
Yeah, got them a little closer to the basket. They got a set play they can run here from the sideline.
Ran off 0.5 of a second. Wilson not expecting it, got the basketball, gets it over to Hedgepath, and knocked out again. I'll tell you what, you got to like the tenacity of Clintwood on defense.
Yeah, when they don't get to steal, they knock it out of bounds. They've done that 2 times here. They make it real tough on you just to get the basketball in bounds, let alone get a shot up.
4.7 to go. Robinson gets it in. Taken away by Kayla Mullins, and Robinson fouls her, and that's a good foul. Because I think if not, Kayla Mullins lays up 2. And Clintwood's got a 3-point lead going to intermission.
3.5 seconds left. It's a question of can Mullins get down to the basket in time. She was about at half court. Still got a chance to make it a 3-point Clintwood lead. She's going to have 2 free throws here. If you're Altavista, you got to be real careful in the second one. Got to make sure you box out. You don't want to give Clintwood a chance for a last-second tip-in.
Mullins misses the first. Second one by number 14. Up, and that's front iron 2. Rebound is loose. Hedgepath takes it away. Hedgepath with half court, and it wouldn't have counted anyway, but it is short. So, the end of one half in the books. Altavista trails by 1, 26-25 Clintwood. We're back with the Subway halftime show right after this on 105.5 KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista 1 point shy right now of Clintwood, 26-25. The head coach of the Colonels, Mike Carlero, joining me here at halftime to recap his team's victory over Castlewood. J.I. Burton, excuse me. I keep thinking of Coach Williams, and I keep calling him Castlewood. Coach Ward joined us after the game, and, you know, really, I thought it was a team effort by you guys. It's hard to pick out one guy that shone, but everybody, I thought, did their part.
Well, the real key there, we felt like, was putting pressure on the ball. And we really expected Beatty to bring the ball up. He's their best player. And they moved him over on a wing, so we were concerned about him taking us in the post. But we really thought that Richard and Michi and Navy and Eric could put some pressure on our guards out front. And we weren't trying to make hero plays or steal the ball. We were just trying to pester them to death and hope that to get to their legs a little bit.
You know, I said on the air that when they pulled out, I can't remember who Demetrius was guarding, but when Demetrius is out on the perimeter, mismatch. But maybe a mismatch the other way because Demetrius' long wingspan, that's not easy to pass through or over or under anywhere.
No, Demetrius has become really our stopper. And he did it up at Page against Doffelmeyer and against Surrey, and he's kind of wrapping his arms around that role of being the guy to stop somebody else's player, and he can guard on the perimeter really well. So we just talked before the game about being able to switch matchups. It was all about pressure, And we did share the ball on offense. I think we had 3 or 4, and 3 in double figures and almost 4.
What'd you tell the team after the victory?
Well, I mean, we've played like mad to get to this point. There's no such thing as ugly, and I thought it was a great win, great effort, great team effort. We got to be real smart about what we do in the next 24 hours. We got a little game plan as far as watching West Point Paramacor play. Get home, get in our own bed. We're not staying. Get up, and we got hopefully a place to shoot and walk through tomorrow and eat a meal and come and play the game.
Final thing, I think a lot of times it's tough to amp a team down if you're getting them up for, a rival. But Perry McClure's not a rival, but it definitely means more to you than it does to those guys. Talk about what's going to happen if it is Perry McClure tomorrow.
Well, obviously that's where I went to school, and they asked me that in the press room, and if it happens, how am I going to feel? I said, well, obviously I'm going up against Coach Fox, who was an assistant for Coach Crawford when I played, and Coach Fox is a Hall of Famer and great guy, great coach. We're really good friends, and I wore that blue uniform. But I won't be a blue uniform tomorrow. I'm a colonel.
Right, I hear you.
That was my past, and I loved it. That's my home, and it always will be my home. But I live in Altavista, and that's my home now, and I played for the Blues, but I am a colonel. So if it's Perry McClure, we're going out there to win the state championship.
And, we talked about this off the air the other night when we were doing a pregame interview of, the state championship game's a little bit different. You got those media timeouts and everything. Do you adjust, I don't want to say adjust strategy, but do you adjust the timeout strategy?
Yeah, you do, and they do have the media timeout once a quarter, so that actually gives you 4 more timeouts to be able to stop, talk to the kids. It depends on what end you're on, whether you want it to stop or not. But I think I'm going to like the opportunity to have those 4 media timeouts.
Well, I'm pretty sure people can see the game on TV tomorrow, but I encourage them to watch and mute to listen to Kyle and I. So definitely best of luck tomorrow. I can tell you're losing your voice a little bit, so we'll keep that well for tomorrow, and I'll do the shout-outs tomorrow. I'll take care of that for you.
Thank you, Bob. Handle it. Hey, it's only 1 game left, so handle it.
That's right. If I'm not with it by this point, I never will be. Coach, definitely appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
It's Mike Cardellaro. Kyle will come back and join me at halftime here on 105.5 KD Country.
English Construction Company has been in the building business since 1932, so it's only natural that they appreciate the building process. They recognize the fact that organized sports programs build character as well as bodies and minds. They know that high school sports build our youth into more well-rounded and more productive adults. English Construction Company is proud to be a sponsor of high school sports and salute all athletes, coaches, and teachers. A word of praise and encouragement from English Construction Company with offices in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Lady Colonels down by a point, 26-25 against Clintwood. Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney, the Subway halftime show for your listening or viewing party tomorrow, whichever you choose, or a mixture, which is what I encourage.
Yeah.
Order your sub. Order maybe the breakfast sub to get things going in the morning.
Yeah.
And then get your lunch sub. And then you got to have a post-game sub, too.
Right, yeah. And if you get the party platter like you should, or the big sub, then you're taken care of absolutely there. Subway caters. 369-2366 is the number. That Subway in Altavista. Let them take care of you, whether it's tomorrow, Saturday, when you listen to the auction all day, anytime.
Ooh, I didn't even think about
Subway's a crowd pleaser. Well, yeah, auction starts at 9, ends around 1 or 2, and there's so many great deals. We understand people aren't going to listen to every second of it, but you got to tune into some of it and get some of those great deals.
And really, this is a case where I encourage tag teaming it.
Yeah,
like, one guy listens 9 to 11, one guy listens 12 to 2, and here's what we want to get, and here's what we're not going home without.
Exactly, yeah, and
I got the strategy
I know
now.
if there's a big marquee item and you're like, man, we really need that, hey, you call the other guy, you say, do you want to get in on this? And we got some big, nice items too, Bob. A couple digital cameras, scraper blades for your John Deere tractor would have been great in the snow. But you can do yard work and stuff around the farm.
Well, it'll
and
probably
that
snow
kind of
next year, too.
Yeah, and a vanity countertop for your bathroom from Spectrum of Stones, like a $600 value. Pick your granite stone that you want. Let's pick your favorite kernel now, though. Lady Colonels trail by 1, 26-25. And, if you tuned in late, you should know that the Altavista guys team won by 20, and they're in the state championship tomorrow. But if you tuned away, maybe for this Lady Colonels game, Lady Colonels got off to the 5-0 start. Looked like they were never going to look back, but here came Clintwood roaring back. They lead 26-25, just the one lead change in the game, Bob.
It's the Subway halftime show. Bob and Kyle here with you. Altavista led by 7 at one point. Scoring for the Colonels, 3 points from T.T. Dews, 11 from Sydney Morris, 2 from Ryan Hedgepath, 6 from Kayla Lee, and 3 from Kalia Donegan. For Clintwood, 3 points from Emily Artrip, 12 from Kayla Mullins, 1 from Taylor Fleming, 2 from Samantha Stevens, 4 from Caitlin Phillips, 2 apiece from Alexis Mullins and Ivy Gully. Altavista just now returning to the court. Clintwood has been sitting there. Take me inside that Altavista locker room. What do you think could have been said?
Well, I think it might have been a little bit of the same stuff that Coach Spencer said a week ago on this very court in the locker room. Hey, we got to pick up our effort, quit letting them beat us to some of those loose 50-50 balls. I mean, if you look at the stats, Bob, a couple things stand out to me that I really like. Colonels out-rebounding Clintwood 20-12. Altavista with 8 more rebounds. You got to like that. More rebounds means less chances for the other team, more chances for you. And Altavista's been to the free throw stripe more. I know the percentage maybe not quite as high as you'd like. Altavista 15-23 from the free throw line. But still, just the fact that you're going so much is a good thing, I think.
Well, the thing I don't like is 2 3-pointers for Clintwood, 0 for Altavista so far. And I think one thing you've got to watch for if this game comes down to a late moment, 23, Stanley has attempted 2, hasn't hit 1, but you can tell she's kind of that little sharpshooter out there for Clintwood, so keep her in mind.
Yeah, and the
Sydney
freshman,
Morris with the basketball.
The freshman Kayla Mullins can definitely shoot as well. We've already seen that, averaging 18 points in the year. She got a steal right now.
She can defend as well.
Yep.
Gets the steal. And picked right away by Kayla Lee on the other side. Lee leaves it off for Hedgepath. Hedgepath all the way down. Hedgepath lays it up too strong. Good defense by Stevens to pester all the way, then back off right at the very end. And Mullins is going to be fouled, and it will be foul number 1 here in the second half of play.
Yeah, it's Ryan Hedgepath going to get whistled with her second personal foul. Just kind of got tripped up, but it was a foul indeed. It might be a good thing because T.T. Dews was in the area, but I think they got the call right. It was on Ryan Hedgepath. 26-25, Lady Colonels trailed by 1. They led for most of the first half.
Samantha Stevens with the basketball between the circles. Clintwood to our left, Altavista to our right here in quarter 3. Nice pass inside to Taylor Fleming, and Fleming gets in 2, and it's 28-25 Clintwood.
Dribble penetration down the middle, and then the soft pass over the top. Lady Colonels trail by 3 now.
Hedgepath with the basketball, lost it, picks it back up, now over to Kayla Lee. And if you're Altavista, you've got to let the factors you can't control not control you. Knocked out of bounds.
No, you bring up a great point. You can't get caught up, blaming the refs, that kind of thing. You can't worry about the crowd. You can't worry about anything but what you control.
Kayla Lee with the basketball. Lee looking to get in, gets it into Sydney Morris. Morris takes it up. Shot's not going to fall. Rebound is loose, picked up by Lee. Lee tried to get it up, I think, to get some contact. Hedgepath takes it up and a traveling. Ryan did make a move towards the basket before she got the contact without a dribble. And it's going to go back over to Clintwood.
Yeah, Erica Wilson going to check in the ball game. She joins Kalia Donegan, Sydney Morris, T.T. Dews, and Kayla Lee.
Stevens with the basketball. Clintwood up 3, 28-25. The Feller's third, 6:40 to go. Steal by Kayla Lee. Lee comes down the left side, and Lee's going to get fouled. You got to carry that. Can't carry the bonus over, so both teams start with one.
Fortunately,
Again.
otherwise the second half would take a really long time. But if the second half's anything like the first, you better believe we'll be in the bonus soon.
That's 4 on Stevens, Kyle.
And that's a good sign if you're an Altavista fan. One of the starters for Clintwood in foul trouble.
Inbounded to Morris. Morris off the fingertips, picked up by Wilson. Swung left to Kayla Lee. Now back to Erica Wilson. Over to T.T. Dews. Dews with the basketball, gives it off to Kalia Donegan. Donegan, three-point line. Donegan puts it on the floor, lost it, tried to pick it back up, could not. Taken away by Gully. Gully just driving past Altavista defenders, lays it up with the right, no good. Basketball knocked out of bounds. It's going back over to Altavista.
Wild exchanges here, a lot of back and forth, a lot of turnovers, and sometimes even turnovers before people can really get possession of the ball. Here comes Sydney bringing it up left side.
Morris with the basketball all the way underneath, drives, reverse layup, no good. Rebounded by Kayla Mullins. Mullins with the pass over, and Kayla Lee got more than the ball as Caitlin Phillips falls to the ground. And that will be, I think, Lee's third.
Yeah, she swatted at it. She got the block, but she got some of the body as well, and that's going to send Caitlin Phillips to the free throw line. Bob, third quarter brought to you by Feller Chevrolet. Check out the 2013 Chevy Equinox in stock now, and a timeout on the court.
We'll take it as well. Altavista stops the clock with 6:01 to go. Full 1 minute timeout. Colonels trail by 3 on KD Country.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
Earn extra cash and declutter your home by consigning with the shops of Altavista. Call 369-5437 for more information on what consignment items are being accepted. The shops of Altavista carry a wide variety of kids and ladies apparel, as well as home decor and furniture. Their deals are so awesome, they've nearly been shopped out. Call the shops of Altavista today, 369-5437. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 to 3 p.m. Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Caitlin Phillips will take her trip at the line for 2 with 6:01 to go. Lady Green Wave up on Altavista by 3, make it 4.
Free throw goes in, Bob, and you and I were talking about it during the break. You know, so many fouls called in the first half that a lot of players now are looking to get fouled instead of looking to finish some of those short ones. They're just going in towards the basket looking for contact. And sometimes the refs don't call as many fouls in the second half because they know how many they called, too. They get in the locker room, too, and the three of them say, boy, did we really call that many fouls?
I don't know if they look at the stat sheet per se.
But they know. I mean, if anybody that watched that game could tell there was a lot of fouls.
Down 5 are the Colonels with 5:44 to go. Morris gives it up to Kayla Lee. Lee has been known to hit from outside once or twice herself.
Yep.
Now Erica Wilson bounce pass into Kalia Donegan. Donegan, nice strong move. Donegan's going to the stripe.
And I like that because Donegan made a strong move. She didn't just automatically look for the contact. She tried to make the bucket. And when you do set your feet and make a good power move to the basket, you're more likely that the foul is going to come because you look like you're in control more so than just throwing yourself into the defensive player.
Fleming's third, by the way. Donegan will sink the first free throw, 30 to 26.
And again, we should mention it again. I mean, that could be the saving grace for Altavista, the fact that Clintwood's got some players in foul trouble.
Second free throw up by Donegan goes down 30-27. You know, I mean, if it weren't for the free throw line, the Colonels would be really offensively struggling right now because they went there so many times. They knocked them down. That's a good thing. If they don't knock those down, then that could really be a bad sign.
Yeah, he made 5 field goals in the first half. 4 of them were made by Sydney Morris.
Gully gets it off to Phillips. Phillips is going to be fouled by the aforementioned. It'll be her second. It's third on the team.
27-30, Altavista trailing. And again, just one lead change. They led for most of the first half. This is going to send Caitlin Phillips to the line again. Seemed like she was just there 30 seconds ago, Bob.
It might have been less.
Yeah.
First one's up and in. Winner is going to get the Region B and defending state champion, the East Rockingham Eagles, tomorrow. 2 o'clock. Morris gets the rebound. 31-27. Morris will come down this way, right side. Sydney over to Erica Wilson, now to Kayla Lee. Lee to Kalia Donegan. Donegan takes it underneath and gets it to go down. Kalia with a nice drop step pivot. Gets it off the window, 31-29.
Yeah, great description and a great bucket for Altavista. They needed it. We talked about not a lot of field goals. Well, there's one right there.
Kayla Mullins with the basketball back over to R-Trip. R-Trip to Gully. Gully left side. Gully, nice bounce pass into Phillips. Phillips makes the extra, and it'll go down. It's Taylor Fleming for 2 from the left block, 33-29.
Good use of the bounce pass there by Clintwood couple times. Really broke down the Altavista defense.
And, you know, for the youth of Clintwood, the chemistry really impresses me. I mean, it's not like that, you know, you can tell that these girls from Region D are very well schooled. Lee's going to be whistled for a walk.
Was it a walk or was it a charge? One referee called a charge. You're right, just a walk. They never made any report to the scores table. So that's good because that would have been 4 on Kayla Lee if they did call the foul.
4:22 to go in quarter 3. The Fellers third, 33-29. Green Wave up 4. Looking to extend it. Mullins can't get that to bounce down. Rebound, Kayla Lee. Trying to tie up Lee. The possession arrow does read Clintwood. Now Erica Wilson, right side over to TT. Dews has a trouble catching it. Picks it back up now over at Lee. Lee for 3. No good. Basketball bounces and picked up by Kayla Mullins. Mullins having trouble. Altavista Flippers really like a pinball machine on that one. Back to Mullins left side, and Mullins sticks into Altavista down 6.
Good transition points there by Clintwood. Erica Wilson was the only defender for Altavista. She couldn't do much about a 3-on-1.
Offensive foul. Morris her third.
Yeah, and again, it's not your typical charge that you see a lot where somebody falls flat on their butt when they take the charge. The Clintwood player fell sideways, but tough call either way, any way you slice it.
Deborah Spencer will burn another one. It's a full 1-minute timeout. It comes with 3:42 to go in quarter 3. Altavista down 35-29 on KD Country.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob Alvis, Kyle Haney, and the man with the plan, Mr. Nick Bailey, back at home base, punching all the buttons. Altavista looking to fire back themselves here. Down 6, 35-29 against Clintwood. Green Wave had a 1-point lead at the half and really have just taken the momentum from, I would say, maybe about 2 minutes to go in the second quarter and really have ran with it.
Yeah, they've had the momentum a while. You're right. Altavista just needs one big play to get that momentum back. One key thing to happen for them, and I think the Lady Colonels will be just fine, but they do trail by 6 now.
Nice play inside by Donegan to knock it away. The ball will stay to Clintwood. 3:33 to go, and the Fellers third.
Altavista band is still here. They stuck around. I think they've made a lot of fans in Richmond this trip.
Gully underneath. Gully took it up, couldn't get it to go. R-Trip falling in, can't get it to fall. Rebounded by Donegan. Now off to Erica Wilson. Wilson off to TT Dews. Dews thought about the 3. Now over to Wilson. That pass, I don't know if it was intended for Robinson or Lee. Lee picks it up, gets it off to Robinson. Now back to Wilson. Now over to TT. Dews is going to drive in underneath, and TT's going to be fouled. And I would have to think with everything said, she was going up.
Yeah, she's in the act of shooting. She'll shoot a pair. And it is the 4th team foul on the Green Wave.
It's going to be the first one on Erica Counts for her first action.
Yep. TT Dews does sink the first free throw. And she'll have a second one to follow. 3:11 to play here in the third quarter. 5-point game. Remember, we talked about Clintwood has the momentum, Bob, but Lady Colonel's certainly not out of this. Not by a long shot. A lot of basketball left. Both of them go in for Miss TT Dews.
35-31. Donegan has one field goal, and that's it in this quarter. Gully for 3. Off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Chelsea Robinson. Tell you what, that would have really, really stung.
Yeah.
That fall. And Dews with it. Dews drives in. TT all the way across. skips the tightrope, gets it off to Lee. Lee for three. No good. Chelsea Robinson with the rebound. Robinson gets rid of it before falling down, but it's taken away by Phillips. Phillips guarded by Lee, and they're going to call Kayla for the reach, and that's number 4 on Kayla Lee.
Yeah, Lee, a little too overzealous there, trying to get the basketball back, just trying to make a play. Can't fault the effort. Sydney Moore's going to check back in the game. She's probably coming in for Kayla Lee. She is. And she joins Erica Wilson, T.T. Dews, Kalia Donegan, and Chelsea Robinson on the court right now for the Lady Colonels. 2:53 to play in the Fellers' third quarter, Bob. Altavista down 4.
I'll tell you what, I think without a doubt, Lee's done for the next 2:42. Gully with the basketball. Gully bounce pass over to Stanley. Stanley to Phillips. Phillips tries to make the pass inside the counts. Taken away, and basketball is going to stay to Clintwood. 2.5 to go, 35-31, Green Wave.
Yeah, again, I still think just Altavista, they just need one big play. Maybe it's a three-pointer from somebody. Maybe it's an and-one situation, or maybe it's just a nice defensive effort.
Mullins too strong on that one, rebounded by Robinson. Yeah, I don't think it's as much of, the physical. I think it's right now just mentally Altavista needs to feel good about themselves.
Yeah.
Some way. Donegan's going to go to the stripe.
You got a great point. I think a lot of it is mental. I think, they feel like they're not getting the breaks. Things aren't going their way. And sometimes when that happens, you just got to make the breaks yourself. Donegan was fouled on the floor. 5 team fouls in the Green Wave now. Altavista has 5 fouls as a team as well.
Wilson brings it back right side. Now over to T.T. Dews. Dews bounce pass inside to Donegan. Donegan's going to be fouled, and Donegan's going to go up for 2.
And that's a great thing. Get it close to that basket. Get it in the low post to Donegan. She's got a knack for getting to the free throw line. She's got a knack for making the free throws as well.
Well, I mean, if Altavista can turn this into a free throw shooting contest, that's fine as long as they're the ones that win it.
Yeah, like I said, last free throw might win.
First one up by Donegan that goes down.
And it doesn't matter how you score.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what it looks like. No pictures on the scoreboard.
They add up the same.
That's right.
35-32.
It's not how, it's how many. First one in for Donegan. Second one on the way.
That goes down as well, 35-33. I guess it was about 9 years ago where Altavista played the double, girls and boys, and it worked out that day.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about the history too much, but maybe we should. Who knows?
Stanley throws it, and that's going to go out of bounds. Gully couldn't keep it in. Now, basketball back to Altavista. That might be the play right there.
Yeah, and you hear the crowd getting into a little bit more. I think the Altavista crowd kind of woke up a tad. Maybe that is the momentum shift, Bob.
Dews over to Sydney Morris. Morris underneath to Donegan. Donegan's going to be fouled by Phillips, and I do not think Deborah Spencer minds one bit winning this game from the free throw line if that's what it takes.
Not
that's
at all.
4 on Phillips, by the way.
So that's a double whammy there for Clintwood. Donegan back to the free throw line where she's been looking quite comfortable. 4 fouls on a big gun for Clintwood. But again, hard to get the momentum when the clock is stopped, it seems like. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure Deborah Spencer loves to be on the free throw line shooting free throws as much as any coach, but just tough to break the other team's momentum. First one no good from Kalia Donegan.
Have one more try at it. 35-33. Second try coming from Kalia to get it to within 1. It's up, and it's in. 35-34. Maybe with the way this game was going foul-wise, I should have taken you up on that water offer at half.
Yeah.
Gully with it. Gully trying to go around, gets it over to Mullins. It's going to be out of bounds off Clintwood. And I'll tell you what is Altavista basketball known for in both realms? Defense. And that's what's getting it done.
You're absolutely right. We already talked about it. We talked about it in the pregame show. They got back-to-back defensive stops. Let's see if they can cut into it. Lady Colonels could take a lead on this possession.
Morris in the lane, gets the pass. Morris takes it up and in. Sydney gives Altavista the lead back, 36-35. Long way to go in this one. 1:30 to go in quarter 3.
Second lead change of the night comes from a 7-foot jump shot from Sydney Morris, and this prompts a timeout from Clintwood.
Clintwood will take the stoppage, so will we. 36-35, 1:26 to go in quarter 3. Full 1-minute timeout on KD Country.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch & Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care.
It's cold out there. Who are you going to call when that old heater finally breaks down? Select Air, 841-1580. Another question. Who are you going to call this summer when that air conditioner finally kicks the bucket? Select Air, 841-1580. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Never an overtime charge with Select Air. Call Donnie at 841-1580 for a free estimate or online at selectair.webs.com.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Bob and Kyle back here from the Siegel Center at Virginia Commonwealth University. It's been a good home to the VHSL for the better part of a decade, and a traveling call. Right now, it's very hospitable to Altavista to boot.
Yeah, the Altavista bench is pumped. The fans are pumped. Even some of the guys from the guys' team that have stuck around are pumped. 3 defensive stops in a row for the Lady Colonels.
Erica Wilson gives it off to T.T. Dews, and Wilson goes and sets the screen. Dews with it on the right side, guarded by Stanley. Gives it up to Erica Wilson. Wilson guarded by Gully. I'll tell you, Clintwood's no slouch either defensively. I mean, they're not giving Altavista all day to, figure this out.
Yeah, everything is hard to come by in this game.
Whistle, and I'm shielded.
Yeah, basketball, jump ball, mutual possession, I think. Unless they did call the travel
I
on
think
Chelsea
you're right.
Robinson.
We'll see.
If the possession arrow changes back over. That's what we'll find out. 1:02 to play. We do know that. And Altavista leads by 1. Very slim lead. It was a jump ball. So next time there's a tie-up, it's going to go back to the Lady Colonels.
Under a minute to go in this game in ways is eerily reminding me of last year's matchup with Covington. Gully over to Stanley. Stanley's going to fire the 3. No good. Rebounded by Altavista's Erica Wilson. Now off to T.T. Dews. And I'll tell you what, that's the other thing with Altavista. Not one person on this team doesn't know how to rebound. If boys and girls programs, the guards know how to do it. Gully with the steal. Just took it right out of Wilson's hands. Gully will have to pull up and hits the shot. 37-36.
Clintwood's got the lead back. They got the full court pressure going. We're down under 30 seconds to play here in the third.
20 seconds to go. T.T. Dews with the basketball. Dews gives it off to Wilson. Wilson looking for somewhere to go. Erica to the free throw line. Off to Chelsea Robinson off her foot. Picked up, I think that is Lee, or Donegan, pardon me. No good. Rebounded by Kayla Mullins. 4 seconds. 3. Mullins lays it up. Won't go down. And jump ball. And I don't think it's going to matter. The arrow, I think, might switch. Anyway, just with the quarter. 37-36. Clintwood will head to quarter 4 with the lead. We'll be back after this on 105.5 KD Country.
A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You can buy paint from any old yahoo who knows nothing about paint in one of those big box stores. For quality paint from people who really know paint, it's Davis Paints from your complete home center, English's. Davis Paints, which has been known for quality since 1921, is not just sold anywhere. Visit the new paint room at English's, your authorized Davis Paint dealer.
English's is your complete home center.
On North Main Street, Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
8 minutes of game time will determine who will go to the VHSL State Championship tomorrow at 2 o'clock and face East Rockingham. Will it be a rematch, or will it be Clintwood? Robinson with it over to Kalia Donegan. Altavista to our right here in the second half. Quarter 4 is where we are. Altavista trails 37-36. Dews had it knocked out of her hands, taken away by Clintwood. Stanley with the basketball. Stanley leaves it. Now over to Mullins. Now Kayla Mullins gets it inside. Shot up off the side of the iron. No good. Rebounded by Hedgepad. Altavista's going to the line 1-1 from here on out, Kyle.
Yep.
Morris left side. Morris takes it up and is going to get fouled. That one's going to be 2 shots. And we'll see who the foul is on.
And they've been good from the free throw line, Bob. 7 of 8 in that third quarter. In fact, Kalia Donegan, 10 points in the ball game, all 10 from the free throw stripe. So you said if Deborah Spencer, has a problem with this becoming a free throw shooting exhibition, then that's not the worst thing in the world for Altavista. We should say she doesn't have a problem with it becoming a free throw
First
exhibition.
foul on Kayla Mullins. 17 fouls against the Green Wave.
And I say how good the Lady Colonels have been. Sydney Morris misses the first one. 22 of 32 from the free throw stripe, Bob.
Morris sinks number 2, 37 apiece.
Yep.
So, basketball in the hands of the Green Wave.
3 lead changes, 1 tie, 2 if you count the 0-0 tie at the start of the game.
Stanley again overshoots that one, rebounded by Chelsea Robinson. Now Hedgepath with it. Hedgepath off to Kayla Lee. Lee to Sydney Morris. Morris looking for somewhere to go. Morris looks at the clock, now looks at the floor. Sydney inside to Chelsea Robinson. Robinson up and in off the left side.
And what an assist from Sydney Morris. Sydney held on to the basketball for about 10 seconds there. Nobody was open. She just held it and held it and held it. Finally found Chelsea Robinson cutting to the basket.
39-37, Gully with the basketball. Gives it off. It's in the hands of Samantha Stevens. Stevens playing with 4. She'll get it back. So is Phillips, and she's also out there. Basketball knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay to Clintwood.
Well, on the other side, Kayla Lee has 4 fouls as well, Bob, and she's out there for Altavista. She's joined by T.T. Dews, Ryan Hedgepath, Sydney Morris, and Chelsea Robinson. Lady Colonels lead by 2.
Emily R-Trip in the game. R-Trip looking for somewhere to go. Gives it off. It's in the hands of Taylor Fleming. Fleming gives it back. Now Fleming gets it back, and Fleming's going up for 2. See where the foul is on here.
I think it might be Chelsea Robinson. We'll see.
And if so, that is 3.
Yep.
Wow, who's not in foul trouble on that board right now? Kyle Haney.
Everybody's got at least 2 fouls that's in the game right now. Fortunately, 3 players only have 2 fouls. Hedgepath has 2. Morris has 2. And I believe Robinson has 3, and they just haven't put it up on the board yet. First free throw good from Clintwood. Second one on the way right now. Back iron, no good.
Well, from here on out, everybody's shooting 39-38.
Yep. Everybody's shooting a 1-and-1 again, unless it's one of those charging fouls, player control fouls.
6:11 to go. Basketball becomes a very, very precious thing at this point, too, Kyle.
Absolutely. Value every possession. Take care of it.
Dews puts it on the floor, hands it off to Sydney Morris. Morris looking for somewhere to go. Morris over to Lee, now back to Morris. Now over to Hedgepath. Hedgepath, bounce pass over to Kayla Lee. Lee over to T.T. Dews. Dews drives in and cut off over to Sydney Morris. Altavista up 1. Hedgepath with the rock. Looking for somewhere to go. Gives it to T.T. Dews guarded by Gully. And a foul. That's that R-Trip, pardon me. And it's going to send T.T. to the stripe.
Yeah, T.T. going to shoot a pair of them. Well, excuse me, it's a 1-and-1. Not necessarily a pair of free throws.
That's the goal.
Right, that's the goal. T.T. on the night so far from the free throw stripe, since that is so important. 7 of 8.
Kalia Donegan going to check in for Sydney Morris.
I'd call that pretty good when you've only missed 1 free throw in 8 trips.
Now,
chance to stretch this lead out right now for the Lady Colonels.
If I made 1 free throw in 8 trips, it would count as pretty good.
You'd take the inverse, right.
T.T. gets the first, 40-38.
Yeah, Donegan back in the game for Sydney Morris.
Second one up and in. 41-38.
Good stuff from T.T. Dews. Again, Lady Colonels continue to be very proficient from that free throw line.
Gully over to Phillips. Phillips lost it, picked up by T.T. Dews doesn't have anybody filling. Dews will take it herself. Had it stripped away by Gully. And now a scrum for it on the floor and jump ball. The Arrow's going to give it to Clintwood. You know, I'll tell you what, I think East Rockingham probably, at least the fans have to be like, oh, we can beat either one of these teams the way they're playing today. All you got to do is get to tomorrow.
Exactly.
And then it's a clean slate.
That's exactly right. After tonight, none of this will matter. Doesn't matter what your record is or how you played in the game tonight. Colonel's 23-4 coming into the game, Bob.
Samantha Stevens gets it over to Gully. Gully zigzagging her way across the floor. Gets open, and Kalia Donegan knocked it out of bounds.
Yeah, blocked there from Donegan. She wasn't able to retain the possession. But Clintwood will have to restart things. Altavista leading by 3, 41-38. We're under 5 minutes to play here in the Fellers fourth quarter.
Gully gets the inbounds, guarded by Dews. TT out there with 3. Picked them all up in the first half. Robinson gambles and gets the steal. I'll tell you, Chelsea on the spot. Again, Kayla Lee over to Hedgepath.
A great play by Chelsea Robinson. Boy, Altavista's defense really has picked up since about midway through the third quarter, Mr. Alvis.
Chelsea Robinson off to Kalia Donegan. Now, if you're Altavista, obviously be smart with the basketball.
Yep.
And the Colonels have, for the most part today, have done a pretty good job in terms of not throwing up anything ill-advised unless they thought contact was coming right there.
Yeah. Can't lose your aggressiveness, though. Still got to try and score points. Although Altavista is doing a nice job of spreading the court right now. Hedgepath has the basketball.
Hedgepath with it. Now off to Dews. Now Dews looking for somewhere to go. Gets it to Kalia Donegan. Donegan keeps her pivot foot. Donegan puts it on the floor. Donegan loses it and picked up by Clintwood. Green Wave going to head the other way. Stevens bounce passes over to Gully. Gully drives all the way in. Gully gets it up and in. Really, for the most part, uncontested. Hedgepath was back there, but she was trying to guard 2 or 3 people.
So
41-40.
Yeah, 1 point lead for Altavista now.
Lee all the way down, and Lee, fortunate, fouled on the floor. That's it for Phillips.
Yeah, probably going to be 5 on Phillips. Kayla Lee heading back to the free throw stripe. She's been pretty good there, Bob. She hadn't missed a free throw yet. 4 of 4. I'm sure I took a risk at jinxing her right there. Chelsea Robinson going to check out of the ball game. Sydney Morris back in the ball game. 3:43 to play. Altavista, a slim 1 point lead. It's about as slim as you can get.
I think that's 9 team fouls now on the Green Wave as well. Lee sinks the first.
So the bright side of that for Altavista is next one puts them in the double bonus. They'll be shooting 2 from here on out.
Yeah, really turns into 2 now because Lee hits the first. So 2
Great
shots
point.
from here on.
Lee hits the second.
43-40. And if you're both teams, now you want to hit from the free throw line every time. Fouls on Lee. She's done.
That's 5 on Kayla Lee. Picks it up about 35 feet away from the basket. Can't believe it.
I don't think Deborah Spencer can either.
A little too much of a hand check for the officials' liking. Erica Wilson will check in the ball game for Kayla Lee. Going to send Clintwood back to the free throw line. Samantha Stevens going to shoot at 1-1. Altavista up 3.
And I think that, according to my numbers, that's only Altavista's 7th. Stevens will hit the first. They would have been shooting anyway.
Yeah.
43-41.
She makes the first. See about the second. If you're Altavista, you got to box out. You can't give up an offensive rebound.
She misses. Rebounded by Kalia Donegan. And you mentioned, Kyle, you can't lose your aggressiveness totally. I mean, I know you want to run a little clock, but 3.5, that's a ton of time.
Right.
Basketball in the hands of TT Dews. Dews brings it back. TT looking for somewhere to go and just hands it off to Kalia Donegan. You know me, Haney, I'm a fan, too, of make those passing lanes as short as possible.
Yeah, make the passes short and crisp. No long ones. Don't take a chance of anybody running underneath one and intercepting one if you can help it.
Morris gives it off to Erica Wilson.
A lot of times, if you can even go to the ball carrier, go to the person with the basketball and just do a handoff like in football, that's the shortest of all the passing lanes.
Wilson picks it up. Now lost it. Now back over to Morris. And you can tell Altavista is really not interested in going to the basket as much as they are just keeping the ball away from Clintwood, because if Clintwood doesn't have it, they can't score.
Yeah, and if you keep it away from him, you have what happened there. You get Sydney Morris fouled far away from the basket. Clintwood really gets to the point, not that they have to foul because of the time and the deficit, but just because of the fact that you're sort of tired of Altavista just bobbing you around like a puppet on a string back and forth around the perimeter like that. Morris will shoot a 1-1 from the free throw line, I believe. You've got 10 team fouls.
I've got
for
10.
Clintwood.
That's 5 on Stevens, so
Board
she's
says
done.
9. Yeah, and that's 2 players that have fouled out for Clintwood.
Okay.
They said 1-1 though, so we're going to go with that.
Go with that, yeah. Morris will turn it into 2.
It's a moot point now. 44-41. Altavista leading by 3 now.
Colonels looking to push the lead to 4. Cannot, but rebounded by Donegan. Donegan throws it back up and in the act, and she's going to get 2.
Big cheer from Deborah Spencer. She's fired up. Couple fist pumps. Donegan's laughing it off. Great play there on the offensive rebound by Kalia Donegan. And she'll go back to the free throw stripe, a place she has been very comfortable at in this game, Bob.
Donegan will head to the stripe. Foul is on Taylor Fleming, her 4th. And the first one, no good. And a lot of people thought it was 1-1 on the floor.
The first one was no good. Second one on the way.
Donegan, second shot up. It's in.
She got 11, Bob. All of them from the free throw stripe. They're up by 4.
2-possession game right now with 2:44 to go. Our trip with the basketball. Off to Stanley. Stanley has had a trigger hand today. It's been firing from 3. Hasn't hit one yet. And Gully traveled. Gully stopped and still moved the feet. Basketball back to Altavista. Colonel's in the driver's seat with 2:33 to go in terms of they can control it for as long as they can control it or want to.
Yeah, really don't want to risk a turnover here if you're Altavista. Got to do what you can. A score would be even better because they're up 4. If you get a field goal, now you're up 6. 3-pointer and you're up 7.
Hughes with the basketball. TT looking for somewhere to go. And a foul, and it's going to send Altavista to the stripe for 2.
Erica Wilson kind of held her breath. She thought maybe she's setting a legal screen, but Erica Wilson will shoot the pair, and she gives the thumbs up to the official.
It's going to be the 4th on our trip. So 2 players have fouled out so far for the Green Wave of Clintwood, and 2 more have 4 on the floor right now, that being our trip and Taylor Fleming as Erica Wilson sinks number 1.
Yeah, and now Clintwood really is in bona fide foul trouble. We got a player with 2 players with 4 fouls. You mentioned it. 2 players have already fouled out. Erica Wilson sinks the free throw. That makes it a 5-point game. Things are looking a lot better for the Lady Colonels now. Makes both.
Only got 12 on the roster. When you foul out 4 and you're down to 8. 47-41. Timeout. Clintwood will take it as well. Green Wave down 6. Altavista has 2:17 left to survive to get to tomorrow's state title right here on 105.5 KD Country.
The following is brought to you by English Construction Company.
What do basketball, choir, drama club, and marching band all have in common? They're all high school activities that offer learning opportunities not necessarily found in the classroom. They take up just a fraction of a typical Virginia high school's budget, and they go a long way to giving young people the tools they need to thrive. High school activities, they're more than extracurricular. They're extra important, too. This message presented by the Virginia High School League and the Virginia Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Altavista guys will find out their opponent in the next game as Perry McClure will take on West Point. The ladies are hoping they have an opponent tomorrow in East Rockingham. That game would be at 2 o'clock. Lady Colonels up 6 right now, 47-41, but I would not dare say this one's even close to being on ice.
No, this one's not over yet. State semifinal action here from the Siegel Center. Lady Colonels 47, Green Wave from Clintwood 41. Altavista, Bob, 9 of 12 from the free throw line here in the 4th quarter. That's pretty good numbers, especially when the heat is on.
8 fouls against Altavista, so the next one, 1-1 on travel. And, you know, we talk about Altavista going, between the years, really struggling early on. Now Clintwood really needs something to go their way, I think, to bring some pep back to their step.
Yeah, Altavista's got all the momentum right now, and it started on defense. You know, they got those 3 or 4 defensive stops in a row. Momentum came back to them. They made some free throws, and that's really brought us to where we're at right now with the 6-point Colonel lead.
Dews off to Wilson, now back to Dews. Now Sydney Morris comes up and catches. Morris is guarded by Kayla Mullins. Now off to Hedgepath. Hedgepath over to Erica Wilson. And at this point, with everything being 2, you cannot foul intentionally. And I don't think Clintwood's trying to do that anyway all afternoon.
No, I don't think any of these have been intentional, and I don't think that one right there on Erica Wilson was intentional, even though it was about 30 feet away from the basket.
5 on Fleming.
Wilson made both her last trip, and it was only about 20 seconds ago. We're down to 1:40 to play. Subway postgame show is going to be real fun, Bob.
Vord is showing 5 on Fleming, unless it didn't go against Fleming.
Yeah, they changed it back to 4 to her. Maybe it did go to somebody else. Doesn't really matter to Erica Wilson. She just wants to knock them down. 47-41, Altavista leading.
It's going to go against Gully and make that 49-41.
Yeah, Erica makes both. 4 for her last 4 from the charity stripe.
Clintwood in the hands of Mullins. Mullins is going to get it laying up, and 49-43. Now, Clintwood's going to set up full court, obviously, whenever they can, because that has worked for them a good portion of the day, Kyle Haney.
Yeah, they've gotten some steals in that full court pressure. Lady Colonels have broken it, though. Now Clintwood might have to think about fouling intentionally. We're down to 1:14 to play.
Dewes throws it for Hedgepath. Hedgepath caught it at the very corner that she could catch it. Now to TT. And Dewes is going to be fouled by Stanley. It's Stanley's second. And that's going to send Dewes to the stripe for 2.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't send TT Dewes to the foul line by fouling her intentionally. But then again, who hasn't been good from the free throw line for Lady Colonels, Bob? Everybody out there's made their fair share tonight, and Dewes knocks that one down.
Well, you've got the stats after 3. Tell me who hadn't been good from the free throw line.
Everybody. I mean, everybody for Altavista has been good.
Right.
Erica Wilson in the first 3 periods hadn't made a free throw. She was 0 for 2, but she's made 4 in this period. TT makes 2 on that trip. It's an 8-point game for the Altavista Lady Colonels.
51-43, a minute to go. And now Clintwood does not have time on their side.
Yeah. Desperation time now.
Basketball in the hands of Gully. Gully gets it off to Caleb Mullins. Mullins drives in, and that's what you don't want to do if you're Altavista.
Yeah, you don't want to stop the clock and put Clintwood on the line, but they did just that. Looks like the foul's going to be on Donegan. Her second. 51-43. Altavista leads in this Fellers fourth quarter. Fellers Chevrolet is your one-stop shop for maintenance and service. Their certified service technicians always perform like it's the fourth quarter, Bob. Fellers, where a short drive will save you money.
Kayla Mullins at the stripe for 2. Can't hit the first. Try her hand at one more, and she'll get that one to go 51-44. TT Dewes with the basketball. Dewes come in the middle of the floor, and Dewes is going to be fouled by Gully. It's Gully's third. And now I think if Altavista can just hit free throws, they can probably get out of here alive.
We said it in the first or the second quarter. It might come down to a free throw shooting competition. It certainly has on the Lady Colonels end. TT Dewes going to line it up for 2 more right here. That one's no good.
How many did you have them making after 3? Total.
Free throws?
Yes, sir.
Altavista was 22 of 31 after 3 periods of play from the free throw line. Second one goes in for Dewes.
I have 14 this quarter.
Yeah, TT Dewes is 10 of 12 in the game from the free throw stripe. She's not the only player that's made more than 10 free throws.
Our trip off of Sydney's leg, and it'll give it back. So let's see. We had 22 after 3, 14 this quarter. That's 36.
Yeah.
So not quite at Clintwood's number of 44, but close.
Yeah.
Basketball in the hands of the Green Wave. Our trip gets to the hole. Our trip puts it up and in off the window, and a timeout by Clintwood. We'll keep it here, 52-46, 28.4 seconds to go. I think, obviously, if you're Altavista, one thing you don't want to do is inbound the basketball to where you give Clintwood a second or third defender with a sideline.
Yeah, keep it away from the sidelines. It's like in football. Keep it in the middle of the court. You got more room that way. And make sure you don't turn it over. Make Clintwood have to foul you. We're down to 28.4 seconds left. There's no shot clock, so you got to believe Clintwood is going to foul. So get it in, secure it. Make sure you don't turn it over. If you got a free lane to the basket, well, I say go ahead and take it, because if you can stretch the lead out, then that's just as good as running down more time on the clock.
Either that or, make them think you're taking it.
Yeah,
and then just dribble it on back out.
Sure. But you got to get it in.
Right.
That's first of all, because I think Clintwood will go for the steal and then try and foul.
Yeah, I don't think they can pull the old Bob Alvis, which is try to use some time to get a steal in the backcourt because you're just running out.
Yeah, foul there. TT Dewes does secure the inbounds pass, and she'll go to the free throw line now.
On Gully, her fourth.
Yeah, at this point, it doesn't really matter for Clintwood. You can't be choosy about who fouls who, and and who you foul from Altavista. I mean, you got to commit the foul. We're down to 27.3, so that's good news for Clintwood. Not a lot of time off the clock.
First one will go down, 53 to 46.
And that's the good news for Altavista.
Second one's up. It's in, 54-46.
TT's got the interesting free throw form, Bob. She doesn't dribble or spin it like a lot of people do. She just catches and shoots.
Basketball thrown away, and it's going to stay to Clintwood with 22.7 to go.
Steal here, and it might be all but over. And there's the steal. Sydney Moore stepped into the pass. She's going to run it out.
Gully will get her with the reach. So now I think it's getting closer and closer to that refrigerator door closing.
Yep, looks like you're going to have a rematch. Altavista's going to take on East Rock again, a rematch of that region championship game. 54-46, Lady Colonels lead with 17.5 seconds left. Not all said and done yet, but a couple free throws here. And you got to feel like it's pretty much over. Another player fouls out. That's Gully.
Double coverage tomorrow right here on 105.5 KD Country if the Colonels can hang on for the last 17.5. 55-46.
First one up and good for Sydney Morris.
Bitter heartbreak for the Colonels last year here, losing to Covington. And today they turned the tables. 56-46. 17.5 left. Clintwood has no timeouts left either.
Yep, Sydney made them both. No timeouts, 10-point game.
Mullins drives in, sticks it underneath. The shot's up, no good. Deflects, and it's going to stay to Clintwood with 8.2 left.
Yeah, and Deborah Spencer's telling her team, just back off. Don't even play defense at this point.
Kayla Mullins with it. Mullins will launch from deep. Three-pointers up, no good. TT Deuce chases down the rebound. And a foul. Going to stop it with 1.9 seconds left. And TT will make the strut down to the free throw line, and Altavista has got a chance to do what they did about 11 years ago, Kyle.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, but we haven't mentioned the history a whole lot. They made history back on that day when they both won state championships on the same day.
Take that
the girls
back, 9
and
years.
guys squad. Yeah, you're dating yourself a little bit. It's not that old. 9 years ago. And they could do the very same thing tomorrow. It'll be another Colonel doubleheader. 2 and 3:45 Subway pregame show for the Lady Colonels will start around 1:30. First free throw up and in for TT Dews. Doesn't really matter. She's just adding to her point total now, Mr. Alvis.
I've always said if we're going to work, let's work two.
There
Play
you go.
two. 58-46. Altavista will go on to the state championship against the East Rockingham Eagles. When we come back, it's the Subway postgame show with yours truly and Mr. Kyle Haney right after this timeout on 105.5 KD Country.
Heard of Moose? The Altavista Moose Family Center proudly supports Altavista High School athletics. Moose International is a family-centered, community-based organization that has been serving the Altavista area since 1952. The Moose Family Center on Lynch Mill Road in Altavista wants to wish the Colonel basketball teams good luck in the playoffs. Give the Moose Family Center a call at 369-6945 today to see how they're bringing together the Altavista community. Moose, a family fraternity.
Earn extra cash and declutter your home by consigning with the Shops of Altavista. Call 369-5437 for more information on what consignment items are being accepted. The Shops of Altavista carry a wide variety of kids and ladies apparel, as well as home decor and furniture. Their deals are so awesome, they've nearly been shopped out. Call the Shops of Altavista today, 369-5437. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 to 3 p.m. Main Street, Altavista.
I'm hungry. What are we doing for lunch?
E&S Mart.
E&S? I knew they had the best gas prices in town, but lunch too?
You can get 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99.
$2.99? Wow!
Yep, high-quality Nathan's and Jesse Jones hot dogs with over 30 items on the topping bar, so you can load it up any way you want it.
I'm Mike Maddox. I'd like to invite you down to try the best hot dog in Altavista. Come on down.
E&S Mart, Lynch Mill Road, across from the elementary school.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Back here from the Siegel Center, Lady Colonels win, and it's a big one. Altavista guys team got a big win earlier today as well. So it's another Colonel doubleheader tomorrow, Mr. Alvis. 2 big victories here from the Siegel Center. And, we're hoping for 2 more tomorrow. Fun day here from Richmond.
And tomorrow's pregame interviews will be the press conferences from today with Deborah Spencer and Mike Carlero, at least portions of that, Kyle. So, it's hard to get Coach Spencer and Coach Carlero on the phone at this point because they got bigger fish to fry than talk to me. I get that.
A lot going on this time of the year. And, hey, both Altavista teams are fortunate. They have a lot going on this time of the year. Not too many basketball teams still playing at this point in the year. In fact, in Division I, there's only 2 girls teams and 2 guys teams, and Altavista's got 1 in each. That's a pretty special thing for Altavista as a whole.
Yeah, and, you saw that girls game in the regional finals where I did not. Kind of take me through what does Altavista need to do differently?
Well, they're going to have to play a lot better, and they're going to have to stay out of foul trouble. Tonight, fouls were the difference. Altavista went to the free throw line a whole lot more than Clintwood did. And that was the exact opposite when East Rock and Altavista played last week. East Rock was the one at the free throw line a whole lot. Altavista were the ones in foul trouble. So I think if the Lady Colonels can avoid that tomorrow, then they got a pretty good shot against East Rockingham. But it's going to be tough for both squads. You got to tune in. It's going to be exciting, and it's going to be fun and perhaps history-making again.
Yeah, a couple teams have done the old double in a day since the VHSL has turned to this format. I think Radford has done it before. Altavista's done it. So it's not you won't be the first, but you'll be the most recent.
Yeah, you'll be the most recent. And it's still, hey, just the fact that both teams are this far is pretty special. Regardless of what happens tomorrow, it's been a great season for both ball clubs. A whole lot of wins, not too many losses, and a lot of fun moments all the way around. 2 very, very fun teams to watch.
Yeah, we're going to hang tight here for a few minutes. Somebody from the girls' staff might be joining us. Just want to at least give that opportunity to give them the same amount of coverage that we've given the boys today. I'll tell you what, free throw shooting, name of the game.
It really became a free throw shooting competition like we suspected. And the Lady Colonels, well, they were pretty good. Shot 31 free throws in the first 3 quarters, Bob. They shot 26 of them in the final quarter. 20 of 26 in that 4th quarter. If you make 20 free throws in a game, that's a lot. But the Lady Colonels did that in 1 quarter. To put that in perspective, last year in the NCAA tournament, Michigan won a ball game without even attempting a free throw. And the Lady Colonels made 20 of them in the 4th quarter. 42 in the game. That's 42 points from the free throw stripe. What'd they score total? 56 points,
58.
I think? 58. So
that's a good number.
You got to get the points from somewhere. Why not get them from the free throw line? You spend all those hours in the gym practicing them and in your driveway.
Yeah.
Why not knock them down?
Well, where I come from, that's a good number. And, like I said, and, it holds true very much so. The ones in the first quarter were just as important as the ones in the third, Kyle.
Yeah, but
the second or the fourth.
The ones in the fourth were pretty important, too, because that stretched the lead out and gave the lead to Altavista. 4 lead changes, 1 tie. And, boy, the Lady Colonels come out on the winning end of a real dogfight, a real battle against Clintwood. Clintwood, nothing to hang their heads about. They played fantastic. And they truly do have everybody coming back. No seniors on that Clintwood team, so possibly somebody we could be seeing again in the future, Mr. Alvis.
We'll take a timeout and come back and wrap up with some more post-game thoughts here from VCU. Altavista girls get it done, 58-46 over Clintwood here on 105.5 KD Country.
Get ready for dazzling ball handling tricks, high-flying slam dunks, and hilarious family comedy. Join the Harlem Ambassadors basketball show on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School as they take on the Rotary All-Stars. Get tickets for $5 at Subway and Steve Farmer's Auto Sales or at the door for $7. All proceeds benefit the Altavista Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. For more info, call 841-0063. The Harlem Ambassadors. It's not your grandfather's basketball show.
In the past century, our community has grown, and Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service has grown too, alongside the families they've known for so long. Finch and Finch is proud to have served you over 100 years. A family business, Finch and Finch Funeral and Cremation Service, dedicated to your service.
Finch and Finch Funeral Homes. We're here because we care. A short drive will save you money.
That's right. A short drive can save you hundreds, maybe thousands. The absolute best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. Have a trade? When you make a deal, Feller Chevrolet will pay it off, no matter how much you owe. Slow credit? Don't worry. Drive away today in your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, if you didn't purchase your vehicle from Feller Chevrolet, you paid too much for it.
Feller Chevrolet in Altavista.
You're listening to award-winning coverage of the Altavista Colonels on 105.5 KD Country.
Live from the Siegel Center. Big victory for the Lady Colonels. 58-46 in Division I Group A State Semifinal action. If you tuned in late, the Altavista guys team was a winner as well. Their margin was a little wider. 21-point victory for Mike Carlero's squad. And we got two basketball teams on the air again tomorrow. Girls game's going to start at 2, or around 2 anyway. We'll be on with the Subway pregame show around 1:30, and then same situation, just reverse the order. Girls are first tomorrow, guys are second. We'll have the Subway postgame / pregame show, whatever you want to call it, in between games. That'll be a whole lot of fun. And then the guys game will be the second half of the doubleheader tomorrow. Looking forward to that, and we got some housekeeping duties to do, but let's tell you about the people that brought you this girls game here today for the Altavista Lady Colonels. Feller Chevrolet, where a short drive will save you money. Bringing the YouTube rebroadcasts as well. Check those out anytime you want, girls and guys. English Construction, wishing our high school athletes an exciting and injury-free game. The E&S Mart, 2 hot dogs, chips, and a drink for just $2.99. Select Air, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, never an overtime charge. Finch & Finch Funeral and Cremation Services, a family serving families since 1905. The shops of Altavista, kids and ladies clothing, home decor too, all at a great price. The Moose Family Center on Lynchville Road in Altavista. Heard of Moose, Bob? English Construction, your complete home, English is your complete home center, Authorized Davis Paint Dealer. And the Rotary Club of Altavista presenting the Harlem Ambassadors basketball team on Thursday, March 21st at Altavista High School. Got to tell you again about the KD Country Instant Auction again this Saturday, starting promptly at 9 o'clock. All kinds of great stuff that you can get there. Gift certificates to Schul Furniture, O'Reilly Auto Parts, McBride Blackburn, CC's Pizza, Moe's Southwest Grill, Hamilton Jewelers, Miller's Jewelers, Omni Radioactive, The Wooden Chair, Papa John's Pizza, a couple cameras from Cardinal Camera, snow pushers and snow plows, that sort of thing. Blades for your tractor from New London Trailer. Bowling from Fort Hill Bowling Center. Lowe's has got some stuff. You got golf from Altavista Country Club, Ivy Hill, and Colonial Hill. All kinds of great stuff, Mr. Alvis. And makes my head hurt just thinking about it all.
I was going to put in the personal plug right there for McBride Blackburn, because Jay over there at McBride Blackburn, great guy, does great work. And I'll tell you what, glasses, frames, or whatever you want are not cheap.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can get something from McBride Blackburn, I'm not sure what the exact prize is, but anything from McBride Blackburn is going to be a prize.
You're going to need it eventually.
Exactly. Kyle, final numbers here today for the Altavista Lady Colonels. 55 free throws attempted, 42 made. Colonels had their scoring go like this. T.T. Deuce scored 16 points, all from the stripe. Sydney Morris had 17. Ryan Hedgepath with 2. 6 points from Kayla Lee, 11 from Talia Donegan, 2 from Chelsea Robinson, and 4 from Erica Wilson. On the other side, Clintwood had Emily Artrip, notch 5. Kayla Mullins led the Green Wave with 17. Taylor Fleming with 6. Samantha Stevens with 3. Caitlin Phillips with 7. Alexis Mullins with 2. Ivy Gully with 6. That brings us to players of the game time for the ladies. I will go first, and I will start with Clintwood. I got to go Kayla Mullins. I mean, she is as advertised. I thought did an outstanding job, 17 points, 8 boards, and really I think kind of held Sydney in check too.
Yeah, Mullins had the tough task of guarding Sydney Morris all game. I'm going to go with Kayla Mullins as well. Big props to Ivy Gully. Very nice guard out there. But Mullins, yeah, just a freshman coming into the game, averaging 18. One under that tonight at 17. But like you said, very, very good.
On the other end, Altavista, I'm going to let you go first, partner.
Boy, that's tough. I wish I could just take the free throw stripe. You know, Lady Colonels, 42 of 55 from the free throw line. Impressive, gaudy number. 76% on the game, but just the fact that you make 42 free throws, pretty doggone important. Man, it's tough, Bob. You look at Erica Wilson, 4 of 6 from the line. Kalia Donegan, 9 of 12 from the line. Kayla Lee didn't miss from the line. Hedgepath, 2 of 4. I got to go TT Deuce. 16 of 18 from the free throw stripe. She made all her points from the free throw line, and that's important. She made a bunch down the stretch. By my count, she was 11 of 12 just in that fourth quarter from the free throw line. That's impressive.
Yeah, I thought TT really kept her wits about herself and really, TT was getting frustrated because they were riding TT a little bit here and there. But TT kept her wits, hit the free throws when they counted, and like I said, really you could have missed 11 free throws and still been okay. But you don't know that at the time, so you've got to sink whatever you can take from the free throw line. With that being said, I'm going to go a different direction, and I'm going to go Erica Wilson because Wilson had to get in there for Hedgepath and handle the basketball quite a bit when Ryan got into a little bit of foul trouble here and there. And I thought Erica did a great job facilitating, and I thought Erica did a good job scoring. And again, Wilson missed 2 free throws in the third quarter and was a perfect 4 out of 4 in quarter 4. So, there you go.
Yeah, impressive stat. You're right. And Erica Wilson really did do a great job stepping in there, handled the pressure. And, that was at a time when Clintwood was really throwing a lot of backcourt pressure on Altavista. And then Erica Wilson just kind of handled that calm, cool, and collected. Very, very good stuff from Erica Wilson and the entire team, really. You can't say anybody had a bad game for Altavista.
Yeah, let's talk about what we got coming up tomorrow real quick. 2 state championships. Altavista is going to vie for the one on the girls' side against East Rockingham. It'll be a rematch of the Region B finals. We've seen that happen before. I don't know if we've seen it happen on the girls' side with Altavista. We've seen it happen on the guys' side a couple times. They lost to Madison a few years ago, and then when they beat Riverheads, those were both Region B rematches. Again, let's review real quick. You saw East Rock about a week ago or 2 weeks ago up at Spotswood High School. I saw them a little bit today. They're very well schooled. Paul Comer does a great job with them. What worries you about East Rock?
Well, again, you said it. They're well schooled. They're a very good shooting team. They're a lot like Altavista. If they get to go to the free throw line a lot, they're going to knock down a bunch of those chances. And they're a very good jump shooting team. Talked about the shooting background a little bit different here at the Siegel Center. But, East Rock's been here a bunch, so that might not faze them one bit. Those are the things that scare me. But Altavista's got ways that they can negate that, specifically if the Lady Colonels can stay out of foul trouble for the most part.
Yeah, and I think you can't look at it as, I think Altavista can build up an advantage on this too, in terms of, hey, we got beat by them the first time. They think it might be a cakewalk, walk in the park, whatever. Altavista needs to play that to their advantage, in terms of underdog-type role, I think.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways you can spin it. You can take the underdog role, take the, hey, nobody's giving us a chance. East Rock thinks they're going to come in and walk all over it. You could spin it as, hey, we got the confidence. We deserve to be here. We've been here a bunch, and we know that East Rock did not get our best shot 2 weeks ago. I think that is for certain. So definitely there's some different psychology that Coach Deborah Spencer can employ to her team, and you got a little less than 24 hours to do it in. Quick turnaround, but it is a familiar opponent.
Guys, they will have either the winner of Perry McClure and West Point, the matchup that's getting ready to happen in just a few minutes. Break that one down.
Yeah, you and I saw West Point a week ago here before the Lady Colonels played. Quick, athletic team. Maybe not as athletic as Surrey was a week ago, but still very quick and athletic. And for Perry McClure, you can look out there and just tell them warming up. We're going to catch some of this action before we leave, but they're a well-schooled fundamental ball club. Their coach is Coach Fox, who you've heard Coach Cardellaro talk about a bunch in his interviews. He's been there a while, knows what he's doing, so obviously they're going to be a fundamental ball club. Whoever comes out of this one's going to be battle-tested, and they're going to be, a tough opponent for Altavista. I think for the Colonels, it's all about doing what they do best, rebounding, sharing the basketball, not turning it over. They do those things. I think the Colonels guys team will be in fantastic shape tomorrow.
Colonels are over our shoulder on the right. My advice would be, you got to worry about your house at this point. Other people, what they bring to the house is fine, but you got to worry about your business. And I think Altavista guys and girls are going to do that tomorrow, and you're definitely going to get 100% effort from both. Kyle, pleasure sharing the airwaves with you today. A big thank you to Eleanor and Nick back at home base. A big thank you to Dean Hubbard for rustling up some people for us, getting us some interviews. Big thank you to everybody that joined us today, from Mike Cardellaro, Jonathan Merriman, Justin Feldkamp, Chad Ward. Don't know who I'm leaving out, but we'll probably have them tomorrow right here from Richmond, the Siegel Center, VCU, Altavista, going for 2 tomorrow right here on 105.5 KD Country.